Hey everybody. Am I coming through okay? It has been a disgustingly hot day today. But it's nice and cool now. I was running my air conditioning in my office here. My office is on the south side of my house, so it heats up all day. So I was running the air conditioning in here, and now I got it turned off. Nice and cool. Over 60 Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in international standard units, Whacker. Could you convert that for me? To something used by literally every country on the planet? No? Oh, okay, it's unfortunate. I'm not able to answer the question. I can tell you it was like 31 degrees Celsius, though, which is hot as balls. Yeah, I was giving my buddy BK a hard time about that on his D&D stream over at Crowwares. And they were talking in like, he made basically the same joke that I made, like, what's that in, you know, international standard units? And so I was bugging him in chat, and I said, hey, listen, BK, there are two kinds of countries in the world, okay? There's the ones that use the metric system and the ones that put a man on the moon. That's true, yeah, NASA did use metric. That's true. NASA, I mean, most of NASA used metric. Boeing didn't. That's kind of the problem. Of course, the real Chad rebuttal to that is to say, oh, I didn't realize Myanmar had a space program. Moon's haunted anyway. A fate binder of Tunon here? What business have you at Howling Rock? Speak or be pelted with stone. Should we speak with the ranking officer, or should we just flex? Or should we tell her we're here for the... Just flex? Yeah, I agree. Just flex. How hard should we flex? Should we, like, number 4, a little bit of flex? Or number 5, big flex? Yeah, I think we're a bad enough dude now that we can full flex. Do not question me, worm. I am a fate binder. If you do not step aside and permit me access, then I will enter by stepping over your corpse. Will you really? Even if you kill me, I will not be swayed. You'll find that like the mountains, the Earthshakers cannot be moved by the force of a mere fate binder. Far below, a large boulder is suspended over an immense drop. How do we get across? Oh, maybe there's like another area over here. Oh, here we go. Palisade wall. Ah. So I woke up in the middle of the night and this beast woman was standing over my bedroll. Before I could call out, she sprayed me. Covered me head to toe in some foul-smelling musk. I had to burn the uniform. That's quite a story. How are the golf club excavations coming along? Any word from Basilian? No, not even a missive. They've yet to return. I doubt they're doing anything but taking their fine time considering who's leading them. In his mind, I suppose there's nothing pressing about the ritual we're about to commence. Hell, he'll be lucky if I don't wring his gangly neck upon their return with the lodestones. Master Radix only chose him because his staff is fitted with pure azurlith, but the fool's as likely to lose it as anything. And what are we to do if someone uses it to get in the compound? Who, a beast? Or a chorus chanter? Don't be ridiculous. You asked. Huh. Well, lucky me, I happen to have a whole ton of azurlith shards. Let us assault the Earthshakers. Raise the rock bridge. I'll raise my rock bridge, and also this passage. What in Karen's name? Earthshakers to arms! We've been breached. Charge! Stampede, there it is. Alright. Geek the Mage? Geek the Mage. Yeah! Let's give him Zorg. Whacker, check this out. Fucking, come on. Come on. Okay, check this out, Whacker. Praise him!
Should try something else. Right.
See, you missed all kinds of fun stuff last week. Good night, man. Let's see if I can hit him with Drain Strength. Flame swords. Yes. There we go.
This is useless. Should try something else. I got.
There we go. Yeah, I will use it frequently, Whacker. Don't you worry.
This weapon is entirely worthless. This weapon is entirely worthless.
You want me to be subtle? Fine.
Sneaky, sneaky.
It's time to hunt, slaughter, kill. Your days end here.
Will do.
Haha, sneak attack. Uh-oh.
Right.
Can't touch me now. Mirror image. Hell yeah.
Words would cause more harm than this useless weapon. Fear nothing.
This might be time for a once per rest ability. Yeah. One. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Death from above. Whee! Yeah. Let's do. Oh yeah, let's do the firestorm again. That's a good one. That's a good one. Wow, that was really effective.
I bring glory to my game. I'm enjoying this a little too much.
I'm not sure what that was, Whacker. I'm not exactly sure. I think this guy was throwing rocks at me.
I need to try a different weapon.
I got it.
This weapon is... No, if I had an iron ring for every dumbass.
and die. Oh, there we go. Got him.
On it.
Are you talking about this fog cloud? Is that what you're talking about? Because that's just empty and ebb. Fatebinder, have mercy! You cannot do this! If you disrupt the ritual of following, you don't know what'll happen. As punishment for their intransigence against Kairos, the family lands of many bastard tier nobles were rendered lifeless by the ritual of following, a merging of Cairn's power in concert with his disciples that would blight the landscape for generations to come. Though a waking and active Archon of Stone was present in past iterations of this ritual, the ritual could, at least in theory, draw its power from a less cogent Cairn to oversee the mystic forces. Grab him by the throat. Yeah, tell me, what'll happen? He grits his teeth. Rattle him. Rattle him! Rage courses through. Should we rattle him harder or shove him toward the edge? Let's give him a nice trip. Please, you must see reason. We're conducting a highly intricate, magically esoteric procedure with Tyranny elemental loads of a mercurially unstable charge resonance. Destroy a single stone, the backlash could kill us all. You ass! In layman's terms. He spits, rattle him, and he dies. All right, shatter the shiny stones. Yeah, so here's Cairn. Let's go say hi to Cairn, Archon of Stone. Actually, let me switch out my spells first, because I don't like this one that much. I want to go back to the fire spread. That was a good one. That was a really good one. Wide cone, long range. I don't think it needs anything else. Maybe a little bit of oomph. And let's also bring back the Aura of Zorg. Oh, can't make that one Pride Magic. That's a shame. That's another one we can do. Oh, right, of course. How silly of me. Arid lands. There we go.
On it.
Rattle 'em, boys.
I got it.
Fatebinder! Oh, it's Radix. How dare you bring your chaos and filth to my fort and my Archon! I will not permit you to take a single step closer to Cairn. In Cairn's name, I will protect the remains of my Archon from the unworthy, from the cicadas who swarm and foul this land. Instead, let the land swallow the bevy. Let the land shudder and tremble. Attack without warning. I will destroy you! I will crush you into grit! I will bury you beneath the very bottom of the Azurus tectonic plate and blot your name from history! Behold! For you are in the presence of an iron guard of ash. Sounds like boss fight. Boss fight! Well, you know what we do with boss fights. We use once per rest abilities. Like, for instance, Steadfast Stand. Stand fast, stand tall.
I need to try something else.
Oh, I know. Let's do Tyrannis' Embrace. That's a fun one.
This weapon is entirely
Okay, Eb, come here. There we go. Tyrannis' Embrace.
Get back here.
Here we go. I will set them on fire. I'm buying time for my cooldowns to reset.
Will do.
There we go. See? See? All is well. It's killed like half of them.
Too easy. Oh, if I had an iron ring for every dumbass mistake of mine. Wrong weapon for the job. I need to try something else.
This is useless. Should try something else. Take that.
Setting your enemies on fire with a time-honored tradition. Yes, it is. That's just what we do here.
This isn't working.
Just what we do here on WPL 76. We set people on fire. Sometimes even our enemies.
Sea beast woman's miss.
Right. This is useless. Should try something else.
Why won't you just die? There we go. Got him. Alright, dead. Haha.
Will do.
I'll see what I can do.
More. Oh. Azurelith load. So they're drawing energy from Cairn somehow using the Azureliths.
Found something.
Cairn, Archon of big guys. Wow.
Can't do that.
So yeah, even in that state, he's not quite dead. There's one broken.
Right. Can't do that.
Time to play with mystic power we don't understand. Hell yeah. That's also what we do on this channel. I don't know what you're doing, but I don't like it.
You want me to be subtle? Fine.
On it.
Tears in Shadow understands.
Haha!
This is useless. Should try something else. On it.
This weapon is entirely worthless.
You there.
Humans did not see.
Good heavens, is it raining? Hate to be outside on a day like this.
Squirmy.
Oh, this weapon is like nipples on
Geek the mage. Geek the mage.
This is useless. Should try something else. I can't move.
Harsh words become
Oh no,
more harm than
I'm
the
petrified.
weapon.
I've been turned to stone. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. It's fine. It's fine. No longer stone.
I need to try a different tactic.
This is useless. Should try
Uh-oh.
something else.
Heal just in time.
I need to try a different tactic. This isn't working.
Wakefield getting stoned in the middle of battle. Yeah, that's me. Quite a lot of weapons and supplies. Alright, that's the last one. Let's break it. So what I'm doing, Whacker, is the Edict of Stone had a sunset clause. The sunset clause was as long as the traitor Karen lives. I'm betting that disrupting this ritual, that the ritual is the only thing keeping him alive, and there it goes. So if we finally kill Cairn, we break the Edict of Stone. And there it is. As the ground beneath your feet settles finally into a blissful calm, a feeling of lightness and vitality burbles through your veins. The Edict of Stone has ceased, and with the dissipation of its powerful draining force, the world feels once again alive with arcane energy and currents of magic. The Archon of Stone. Okay, so Azure used to be this like bountiful, fertile land of like golden plains and like fields and crops and all sort. It was the breadbasket of the tiers, and the Archon of Stone turned it into a constantly shifting landscape of like canyons and earthquakes, and it ruined the land, robbed it of its vitality. In fact, maybe we can find specifically the... No, we can't. The Edict of Stone is no more. Finally, maybe now I can hear my own thoughts again. Wait, maybe that's not a good thing. The most populous valley of the Tiers has been shattered and befouled, and for what? To punish one traitor? Well, today the Edict of Stone is no more. Let us hope the realm and its people might now begin to heal. Can feel stone lands are healing. New growth, life, food. Blood pulse of land is returning. The wording of the edict pounds through your skull with the sort of clarity that usually comes from days of practice and repetition. It would seem the Edict of Stone is now a part of you. The word, Fatebinder. Ooh, achievement. Break all of Kairos' edicts. I wonder if you might entertain a quick question. Okay. Wonderful. You've broken a number of Kairos' edicts at this point, which is not a claim that many could make. How do you feel about what you've accomplished? Spare me no detail, please. This is for posterity. Anything that strikes you about the experience is invaluable to the Chronicle. Breaking an edict means I have fulfilled Kairos' will. I'm bringing order to the tiers one realm at a time. So this is truly the course you've chosen, and Tunon was wise to claim you as the court's own. You are a true standard-bearer to Kairos' most austere sense of order. One last question for now. How do you feel, physically and mentally, I mean? I ask because there's very little precedent on the matter, and you could define the symptoms and reactions for, well, for history as a whole. An arcane feat on this scale doesn't happen every day. How do we feel? How do we feel? A little dizzy, otherwise fine. And dizziness, eh? Could be due to the mental effort or something else. You look fine to me. If you feel any different over time, I hope you'll let me know. I think I have what I need for now. Future readers of the Chronicle, thank you for your time and introspection. Your power has increased. You've ended Kairos' Edict of Stone. Alright, one last thing to do here now.
On it.
The last of the spires. The last spire to be activated. And that's all of them. All the edicts and all the spires. Except... oh, I don't know the pattern for this one. This is Howling Rock Runic Hall. Let's see... okay. Okay. Oh, okay. I think I see it. I think I see it.
Ground quivers and gleams, watching with mystic eyes, watching without blinking.
The ground is watching? What? What the explain yourself. Explain yourself, Kills. Explain. What do you mean the ground is watching? Fuck does that mean? Okay, so I think I see the shape. If it is indeed symmetrical, then all we should have to do is mirror it. Does it explode if you guess wrong? No, if you guess wrong, it just resets, or it doesn't work or something. I don't think it explodes. I hope it doesn't explode. Hey, we got a follow. Welcome. There it is, I did it. I did it. No, the paper was just incomplete, Whacker. The paper was incomplete, but the sigil was symmetrical. I was guessing that it was symmetrical. The power or Grayskull. Ooh, achievement. Gain control of every spire. The now familiar light of the spire courses skyward, trailing off toward the horizon in the direction of Vendrian's Well. You feel the ground beneath you fall away as you give in to the warmth of the energy surrounding you. The dawning spire and howling rock gives you the impression of slow, inexorable movement, like a glacier of living stone. Unstoppable force moves at a pace that no eye could follow. The tower's very immobility is a pretense. With a triumphant heave, you feel the will of the spire stretch across the distance to link its power with Vendrian's Well. Too bad Spire could not save Stone Archon from falling to Kairos' edict. Beast Woman thinks Spire would have wanted to. Oh, he was crawling to the Spire. That he didn't just stop here by coincidence. He was trying to get to the Spire. Man, what did Cairn know? He knew something was up. He knew something. Amazing, you can see out east from here, across to the continent. If we had a long-distance peering device, I wonder if we'd see Kairos' next wave of invaders starting the journey here. It's, maybe for the better, I can't confirm the suspicion. For all the dangers you put me through, at least you take me to some lovely places. At some point I want to wake up early and actually watch the sun rise from here. It'll be nice looking down at the sunrise for a change. Yeah, that's it, that's the last spire. Sorry, hold on. Cat aggro. Alright, building an infirmary. Oh, pet redeemed. Okay, pet cat. I pet the cat. Hiring a bunch of potion sellers. Going into battle. I need you to sell me your strongest potions. Oh look, they've got the Sigil of Life there. Sigil of Selfless Magic. Cool. Alright, let's check on the journal and see where we are. Oh, we still gotta decide the captured Beastman's fate. And we gotta return to Blood and Mark, and that's it. Okay. Let's go decide the fate of the Beastman at Halfgate. In fact, we have actually saved the villagers that everyone thought he killed, so that's, you know, big check mark in his favor. Now, what's interesting is the whole activating the spire and breaking the edict thing. None of that was part of Blood and Mark's quest. I just did that because I wanted to. Because I could. Because the game just let me do that. Okay, can I not talk to anyone and be like, hey, those villagers are okay? Oh yeah, I've heard of your heroic deeds at Stone Down. Our scavenging crew's back safe and sound. Those beastmen are horrible monsters. This world would be a much better place if they weren't around. Look, you may not like it, but they're here to stay. You'll have to learn to live with them. No, I won't be happy until we don't have to deal with that filth anymore. They've been nothing but trouble, and conditions won't improve until we get rid of them. Human will fight beast woman. Whole tribe with what? Dulled sickle, slings and stones? Humans are not ironclads, cannot stand against beast women's killing claws and rending teeth. Come, fight and die. Spoken like a monster. Convince me to trust you, then stab me when I turn my back. You're all the same. I will thank you for what you've done, Fatebinder, but that's all you get from me. Okay, there's got to be some way. Because I've proven his innocence, haven't I? Those were the villagers that everyone thought he killed. So why can't I just be like, hey, guess what, nerds? You're innocent. No, all I can do is I can be like, you know, I've got no sympathy for bigots, or you're free to run, or your time has come, you're dead now. I don't have an option to be like, listen, I found evidence. Maybe we missed talking to someone. Maybe we did. I don't know who we would have missed talking to, though. Like, we talked to everybody. At least I think we did. Would somebody mind maybe looking this up? Because I feel like we missed something. Nobody in here we missed. Well, that's the thing is I've tried talking to them again, but some of them I can't talk to again because I've already exhausted their dialogue. Oh yeah, yep, say it. Okay, show me what you have for sale. Helm of the Fish. Excellent. Such power. Ooh, Fire Eye Stone. Plus control fire. Ooh. What do you have for sale? Cap of Absorption. Is that the Gray Fox mask? Looks like it is. I mean, hey, you don't know that Wakefield isn't the Grey Fox. I don't want to incur wrath with Tuna on. You know what? I don't want to leave this quest unresolved either. Oh, we did the trial before we completed search and rescue, maybe? Maybe that's... yeah, that could be. It could be. Well... I don't want to incur wrath with Tunon. Yeah. We're gonna have to execute him. Sorry, buddy. Game files. Baitbinder is teasing, yep. Does not mean to really hurt Left Claw in front of Beast Woman, yep, yep. Stand in my way, Mongrel, I'll slaughter you next. Nope, forbidden. Alpha or not, Fatebinder will not hurt Left Claw before kills in shadow. Kills in shadow will not back down. If you insist on this death sentence, it may be wisest to order her to be elsewhere, and you can deal with Left Claw in her absence. Fair. I do want a little bit of fear from Kills in Shadow so we can get this one, but yeah. You know what, let's just leave this one undone. Too much hassle, not enough, you know, reward. Not worth the effort, in my opinion. Actually, hold on. Hold on. Road men and women armed with staves and flanked by iron-shod warriors. You took Cairn from us and slaughtered our leaders. Yet we carry their will forward. Our restoration begins with your destruction, Fatebinder. Let's speak. Diffuse, threaten them, bribe them, or attack them. Let's threaten. Threatening is good. Let's threaten them. Or actually, diffuse would be good too. What should we do here? Subterfuge or athletics? Subterfuge to diffuse, athletics to threaten. Diffuse, yeah, okay. You calmly raise your hands and adopt your most rational tone. You attempt to show them reason. Cairn's doom was sealed by the Overlord's edict, not your actions, and Radix's stronghold couldn't have held out against the Chorus and Stonestalker forces arrayed against it much longer, even without your intervention. Your words are not wholly without merit, the Earthshaker admits, but your actions have spoken with greater force than speech can ever muster. They cannot go unpunished. The earth trembles as he begins to trace sigils in the air, and the disfavored advance upon you. Listen, I was just fulfilling Kairos' will. You could say I am Kairos' will. Don't you boo me.
Hey, nobody saw that, right?
That's a good opener.
cause more harm than this useless weapon.
I've had far worse.
Yeah, idiot! What was I thinking?
Sorry, I can't.
The wrong weapon for the job. I need to try something else.
I got it. I can't move.
Let the land shorter and
Take that.
the weapon is like nipping.
I need to try a different weapon.
Aha! You're small now. When was the last time you talked to Ash and Voices? It's been quite. Last time I talked to Graven and Ash and the Voices of Narat was actually the Edict of Execution. It's been a while. I still have not figured out how to get up here. But oh well. Oh hey, the chorus is back. Alright, I'm gonna dismiss everybody and then proceed to talk to the Mark.
Alpha, to kill some shadow smells good. Like mountain dough. Makes beast woman blood stir. Run hot hot. Makes beast woman want to hunt, bite, rot. Fate binder wants beast woman?
Had any good hunts?
Good, yep. And many more than 5. Found pack of disfavored called Oathbound. Ironclads fought, but were weak, wounded. Dragged, kicking and whimpering like fresh catch, like prey dying between teeth. Crying and writhing, quickened pulse, made beast woman yearn for care. Tore through throat, and death blood gushed out. Tasted good, slick hot on tongue. Wanted more.
Alright. We're gonna go.
Alpha, fate binder, beast woman.
Oh, can we actually not tell her to? I guess not. I guess we gotta go back to the Spire to do that. I thought there was a way to do it from this screen, but I guess not. Alright, let's rest up.
Right.
Actually, let's touch the thing. You see a clear picture of the tears in your mind, hushed voices that speak of your deeds. It's clear to you these spires are connected now in some kind of web of linked magic, one always hungering for more. Look at that! The glyphs have lit up to match the spires. Now there are some that are still unlit. Now you can't ever get those spires, but the fact that those glyphs are there suggests that they exist. Which is interesting. I wonder what would have happened. I wonder what would have happened if all of them were lit up.
Alpha, fate binder, wants beast woman?
How do I get you to leave the party? Maybe I have to go...
My Lord Bind, what can I do for you? If you would have...
Okay, and then I just go
I will
boom.
return to our holdfast at once.
We'll wait for a short while.
I'll tack homeward. See you there.
Okay, drop everybody. I'm sure there is a way to do it. Alright, let's go talk to Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. Oh. A light rustling not far from campsite. A foot-long grayish tube of flesh. A grave worm. Ugh. Ugh. These pallid creatures do much to enrich the soil of the tiers, but their meat can also make a bland, chewy meal if need dictates. Let's let the grave worm go. That's disgusting. We're not gonna eat the grave worm. Please do not eat the grave worm. Oh, hi, Mark.
You have done well in the tiers. I would judge you are a hunter second to none, save for me. So, you found the Azure Shield. You're now the inheritor of one of the tier's most prized relics. Assuming you remember half of what I've taught you, there should be a few left in the tiers that could best you in a duel. But just to be safe, let's give it a quick test, shall we?
Raise the shield. He darts for you, daggers drawn. Covering the distance faster than should be humanly possible, he pops from shadow to shadow around you, deftly, without uttering a sound, before striking at last for your back. But having anticipated, no, lured the angle of his slash, you're able to easily wrench the shield around in time, deflecting the edge of his blade with a loud screech. A sort of assuredness fills you in response, warm and heady magic from the relic, and you know without a shadow of a doubt, so long as you hold to your defense, he won't be able to touch you.
Impressive. You're faster now than when we last fought.
While most Fatebinders glean their proficiency in combat through extended training with the Fatebinder of Balance, Callio, you were one of the few recruits of your year promising enough to undergo additional, more intensive tutelage under Blood and Mark. Of your 5-person wholly immersive survival class, you were the only one to crawl away with both your life and limbs still intact. Wow.
Well, that was fun, but that's enough for now. We have other matters to discuss. I'll admit, I'm surprised. After such great efforts building trust, you chose, or perhaps cannot help but follow, the solitary path. I've seen what you can do. You are no mere wild talent. You are something far more unusual, and more dangerous. The other Archons will fear you, envy you, hate you in almost every manner. It should come as no surprise that Graven Ash, Archon of War, views you as a nail in need of hammering. He's ordered the Disfavored to destroy you. They are on the march as we speak.
The Disfavored would order an attack on lands held by the court?
He considers you a Fatebinder of unbecoming character, an insult to Tunan's good name, and he knows it's very unlikely anyone will rally to your aid should he attack. Or at least, that's what I've overheard from the shadows. I think the Disfavored will effortlessly stomp through your lands unless you hurry to stop them. When you have secured the mountain spire, we will discuss the next steps.
Oh dear. We'd better hurry back. We'd better hurry back. Oh, a missive from Tunan. The fate of the Forge. Wakefield. Word reached the court that you have dealt with the seditious mercenaries claiming for themselves the mantle of defenders of Lethian's Crossing. You have the gratitude of both myself and the Overlord. The disruptions in the settlement long stymied the production of iron goods for the war effort. Forge Master Zedania personally thanked me for your intervention. Congratulations. The Forge-bound Guild are a strong and tireless ally to possess. Tunan the Adjudicator. Yes, I'm afraid this does mean we can't stop for ice cream. Sorry, Harlan. We have ice cream at home. Fatebinder Wakefield, you've made new friends, I see. Oh, it's Nunavul. I'm here at Blood and Mark's behest. Should you fall, I'll be in possession of the spire ahead of our enemies, and though I was not instructed to aid you, he didn't specifically forbid me from cleaving a few skulls, should I feel so inclined. Had to pick a fight with the Disfavored, did you? Well, you ought to be impressed with yourself. I assume Graven Ash was solely focused on destroying the chorus, but it seems he's found time to try to kill you, too. Should you survive this, we'll need to... The massive sculpture rumbles, shaking the masonry of the spire. Oh no. Oh! 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 It moves! That's new. The orb in the center of the resonator spins with the push of some unseen force. Where the structure once exuded warmth, now it gives off a ferocious heat that singes your face the longer you stare into it. Praise Zorg! We have a miniature sun! A sound like music swarms in the air around the structure, but it's painful and disharmonious to your ears. The spire is now fully awake. Its long dormant currents of energy dance to your presence. What was that? An assault against the spire's foundation? Earthshaker magic? No, it couldn't be. The spire often communicates in visions. Perhaps this is its way of saying it has something to discuss. I've heard Rogulis prattle on a great deal about this spire that thrusts as a blade into the sky, and as well to your mastery of its magic. Before the enemy comes to claim what is ours, I suggest you explore whatever link you have to this tower. Let us hope to Kairos there's some ward that could be enacted, else we'll have no defense but to hurl loose stones on the spire's edge. When I broke the Edict of Fire, I was flooded by an intuition of how it all worked. God damn it, Ranger. Okay. I was flooded by an intuition of how it all works. I could try proclaiming it without Kairos' words. I believe you're the only Fatebinder living to have proclaimed an Edict of Kairos twice. And I worry it's gone to your head, my friend. Only Kairos can work the magic of an edict. Of course, you'll have nothing to lose but your breath, and if our overlord's watching, perhaps your proclamation will be answered. Use the resonator. The mystic hum of the spire pulses to the cadence of your heart. The ancient structure awaits your command. There's still so much that doesn't make sense. I'll second that. Seems like just yesterday I was training you to take a punch. Now you're... What do I call you? The Archon of Spires? The air ripples with heat in the spire's hum. A low chanting of your name echoes through your head. I'm not sure who's actually in control here. Is the spire enhancing my powers, or am I feeling the power of the spire? Your mind drifts to the bygone days and past events. Along with a rush of memories you know as your own, comes a surge of images, voices, pangs of joy and sadness, either long forgotten or remembered by someone else. The heat of the burning library still radiates in our lungs and heart. While it's a bit disconcerting, you occasionally exhale steam, the effect seems a harmless reminder of the power lurking inside you. The cloying weight of granite over your head, the pressing slabs of gneiss against your chest, these memories of Cairn now live in your mind, as does the recipe of his undoing. Pinpricks of electricity spark behind your eyeballs, and the slightest breath in fills your lungs with a rush of moist air. You move to brush rust and bronze dust from your skin, only to realize the sensation is a phantom itch of the blade grave. They say only the Overlord can create an edict. It has never been clear if the Overlord can destroy an edict. And when an edict is resolved, what becomes of the colossal quantities of mystic energy bound into said edict? Half of me is rather curious, almost jealous, wondering what it is you're experiencing when this thing speaks, or whatever it does to you. The other half is glad it's your mind being violated by an ancient and it is not mine. The edict you've encountered crowd into your immediate memory. Whatever splinter or fragments of the edict you helped resolve have taken root, flowering into your mind as intuitive understanding. I can't have been the first person to mess with this device. You feel a presence standing adjacent to you in the space, but centuries from you in time. For a moment she seems aware of you, or perhaps you're remembering her speaking to someone standing in the very same spot. She speaks to the spire, and the spire listens, echoing her words, and while she speaks with conviction, her words are not edicts. She lacks the understanding, the conviction. Images of half a dozen figures swarm through your mind, all of them walked atop this ancient perch, each discovered but a sliver of the spire's potential. I'm seeing flashes of visitors, but nothing about how the spire was built or who fashioned it. Was that Kairos? Maybe. Maybe that was Kairos. Kairos was here centuries ago. So it's been said. The spire didn't just appear out of thin air, but at the same time, I think its original owners are long gone. My link to the spire is confounding. Why me? I lay claim to Ascension Hall. You hear your own voice echo in your mind. Let us be free of this edict. Your mind flashes to the assault on Ascension Hall, to the moment you fulfilled the wording of Kairos' edict. Sensations of searing heat and chilling cold course through your body as you relive the weightless moment when the edict broke, the fateful instance when the levy vanished, and the arcane currents of Kairos' magic were set free. It was in this moment that the spire's old sigil of awakening, long covered by its prior occupants, was set ablaze by the arcane tempest. The spire knows the first moment it found you, and so now you know this too. But whether the meeting was by accident or by design is unknown to both of you. Wakefield, you still with us? There was a flash on the assault on Ascension Hall, and the resolution of the Edict of Execution. The arcane backlash seems to be the probable cause. When you do that, when you listen to the spire, you have the same look on your face as when Bled and Mark casts his senses out through the shadows. The spires and the tears are linked. How far does the connection go? Your mind finishes the intent of your question, you lose sense of your feet, and your vision expands to the spires on the horizon. Reach out as far as you can. As you would command your arms to extend, you think outward, your mind feeling cognizant of the verticality of the spire. You follow this sensation down to the soil, and your sensation stretches underground, radiating through the Vendrian's Well Valley, and branching out to the old walls that ring the mountains. From there, out to the surrounding old walls and spires of the tiers. You issue a soft hum into the resonator and then fall silent, stretching your senses across the tiers to hear how far your voice can be felt. The power of the edict dwells inside you, yet your voice is but a whimper everywhere Kairos' edict still holds sway. But where Kairos' edicts no longer churn, your voice echoes with power. Should you will it, the spire will resonate your voice across these lands, enacting a new edict of your own making. Why do I get the feeling there's a law somewhere against communing with the spires? Anyway, learn anything? The spire can't seem to reach where Kairos' edicts still churn, but otherwise I think the spire can reach anywhere in the tiers. This is quite remarkable, all of it. Rogalus would be amazed one of his students is now master of a spire. Well, more jealous than amazed. What could possibly go wrong? As you touch the stone structure, your sense of the moment slows, and you feel the eternity of the tiers at your fingertips. The spire stands ready to channel your will. Select a region to view its current edict, or to issue a new one. Vendrian's Well. Edict of Fire. Praise Zorg! Praise! Can I get a praise him in chat? Fuck! It actually worked! Wakefield, how? I mean, did Kairos grant you an edict to proclaim? Glares silently. You can't it's not possible! Only the Overlord could cast an edict, or so I believed. I knew you held a greatness within you, my friend, but how could I have imagined you'd possess such a breed of magic? This changes everything. Every eye in the tiers and the north will be upon you now. But first, you must survive this battle. Go and finish your foes while the edict has them off balance, terrified and running. Act now before they can regain their senses. I must stand sentry here at the ready to take the spire should you fall. If anyone makes it up here, they'll have to get through me. Good luck, my friend. Right, Barrack, suit up.
My Lord Binder, what can I...
Suit up,
if you would have
Barrack.
me-
Barrack, Verse, Kills and Shadow. The Wrecking Ball team, let's go.
I'll spill your guts.
Let's give Barrack... Let's give him the Azure Shield. Verse is pretty well set up. Can we give her any good armor? She's okay, I think. I thought I had something picked out for her. I guess not. Alright, alright. Let's go wreck some heads. Oh, leveling up first. Defense. And ability cooldown. And Bond of Honor. Actually, no, wait. Wounded Defender, that's a good one. Oh, one more. Yeah, sure, Bond of Honor. Well, maybe Sound of War, yeah. And then Verse. Oh. Oh, yes. Let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. Yes! Yes! They just ran. They all just ran. Oh, not all of them. A cadre of disfavored warriors, their armor stained with soot and smoke, cautiously approach, led by Sevius, now wearing the regalia of the Iron Guard. Impossible! I've seen the blood chanters call upon fire, but this? The intensity, the heat? How have you channeled the fires of Kairos? The faint of heart may fear your mystic fire, but I was there when the burning library was set ablaze, and it will take more than a hapless imitation of Kairos' conflagration to scare me. Awaiting service a signal to charge, the soldiers start chanting Graven Ash protects, clap their weapons against their shields and challenge. Fools, did you not hear me proclaim the edict? Either I cast the edict myself or did so with the Overlord's blessing. Think that through very carefully. No, that's the talk of a delusional child. On top of your other crimes, you now blaspheme Kairos, likening yourself to his power. Do not make us laugh. Service turns to his soldiers to see who shares in his laughter. His guffaws fall flat when he sees his warriors shuffle nervously with silence. Enough prattle, advance! Slay this aberration of justice and bring glory to Graven Ash. Yeah. Stalwart Surge! Oh, petrified. Come on, be unpetrified. Be unpetrified, please. Stalwart Surge. There we go. Chug. Let's just spam all the powers. What's another one we can do? Stampede. Blood-soaked stone. Death from above. No. Oh, yes. Iron Storm. Damn it. Okay, fine. Rain of Fire. Sigh. Also, I may have goofed. I forgot that Lantry was my healing battery. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just do lots and lots of damage. Come on. Stop being interrupted. Boom. Okay. Yes, there it is. Blade Grave's Grasp.
Good work. This is useless.
Okay. What else we got?
Should try something.
Nothing.
Okay, Verse, get in there. Get in there and use your powers. Yes! And she leveled up. Alright, more damage. Combat level up. Wow, what does she even need? I guess piercing arrows? Yeah. And then let's try this new one out. Oh, wow, okay. Let's try that one out.
This is useless. Should try something else.
Okay. Barrack. Give him the storm wheel. Okay, we're using all the artifact powers. Line these guys up for chromatic arrow. Chug a potion. Champion's boon. Champion's boon. Nope, stone. Knocked over. Knocked over? Never good. Okay, champion's boon. Hey, it worked.
That failed to make Prey bleed.
Come on, do the thing. Okay. The flames.
I'll tear your scalp out by your ass.
Yes. Oh, kills in shadow, please don't die. Kills in shadow. No, kills in shadow won't die because I don't have that power yet. Never mind. Never mind. What else we got? What else we got? Arrow Storm. That's a good one.
Taste of blood. Strike from rending claws.
Take that.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Sea beast from this.
Now we're talking. All of the fire. It does need more flaming meteors, but that's on cooldown right now. Unfortunately. Do that, though. And then a little more of this.
Pity you won't enjoy this as much as I do.
Will do.
Oh! Disfavored Wrath ability. Sever Ash's Bond. Yes. We did it. Holy shit, we did it.
On the lookout.
Those were Ash's guys, yeah. Ooh. Iron Guard Greatsword. Yeah, so that's a power that I have now. I can sever Ash's bond. See? Sever the bond between Grave and Ash and a disfavored in the area, preventing them from receiving the benefits of Ash's Aegis. I don't know if that counts for the purposes of the quest. I don't think it does.
On it.
Because that's only temporary, right? I think it has to be permanent. Ash tried to soak all that fire damage for them and failed. He'd be super weak. Maybe. Maybe, yeah, it is implied, isn't it, that Ash doesn't just protect his followers, he shares in their wounds. Okay, lost sound for a second. The zeal and fervor that his favorite brought to the battle evaporate in the face of your edict, and the ease with which you dispatch their leader. Your overwhelming display of power sends panic and terror rippling through the enemy ranks. The survivors carry with them rumors that defy belief. The Tears has another Archon, one showing the power of Kairos, the power to cast edicts. Confusion sets in across the realm. Amid the whispers and misinformation, one fact remains consistent. The Overlord's power has been challenged. You safely assume that such rumors are making their way back to Kairos. Sweat stings in your eyes as the edict bathes your spire in oppressive heat, its weight felt everywhere in the valley. Slowly, the temperature wanes, turning from nearly unbearable to almost tolerable. Over the next few days, the extreme heat eventually dissipates as your edict ends, releasing Vendrian's well from its molten grasp. You gather a small council of your closest allies and plan your next steps from the safety of your spire. No sooner do you get started than Callio, Fatebinder of Tunon, pays a visit, bearing an important message. Boss wants to talk, yep. I keep hearing about this little spire you've been calling your own. Now that you've slaughtered those who take your lands, I think your claim is as official as it gets. Oh, what did I do to earn a visit from a Fatebinder? Do you have an edict to proclaim? A fair guess. I was expecting Tunon to hand me a scroll case with Kairos' seal on it. After what you just pulled, I would have wagered my last ring that Kairos would cast a very selective edict against you, but alas, the Overlord has other plans in mind. No one's entirely sure what to make of you these days, Wakefield. They all say you spoke an edict of fire. Not a proclamation of an edict of Kairos, but your own edict of fire, your own mystic conflagration. You're no mere Fatebinder, of that much we could be certain. You've proclaimed and broken the Overlord's edicts perhaps one too many times. If I had known you could do this when I'd first met you, I'd maybe have tried in earnest to kill you? I hope for the sake of Tyrannus the right person has inherited this gift. I don't know what to make of you, Fatebinder. Proclaiming and breaking the Overlord's magic, claiming these awful towers. It should come as no surprise that an edict is within your grasp, but I still find room for surprise. You're very powerful in ways that gang bosses and mages aren't. You commanded this place to do your bidding, and unleash something incredible on the world. That isn't the work of a Fatebinder. If anything, it's the work of an Archon. Beastwoman will follow Alpha from here to ends of Tyr's lands and farther still. We'll prowl deep into cold north, hunting armies of Kairos at Alpha's side. Together, Shadowhunter and Alpha will slaughter whole of Prima's tribe. I don't have any idea how you're able to do this, but it isn't power that any scholar can wield. This is something else. You're not some ambitious hedge mage who learned it out of a book. You're more like an Archon, where it just comes naturally. I always knew you'd be a delightful bit of trouble, but I didn't think you had a touch of the Overlord's power in you. Why didn't you tell me? I genuinely didn't know I had it in me. You didn't know if it would work and you decided to play with the arcade equivalent of a mountain topping over? My confidence in you swells, Fatebinder. It's only natural to have doubted yourself. The edicts have always been the magic of Kairos and Kairos alone. Anyone claiming to be able to cast an edict would be presumed crazy. And yet, a sane man watching what you just did would see the power of the Overlord in your voice. Curious. Suppose you've no reason to play the fool. I'll say that, however, it is... No, what the fuck is that? Oh, I'll say that however it is you came into this power... I know that you've drawn the attention of the Overlord, so congratulations, I think? Yeah, we proclaimed an edict of fire. It was great. You missed out, Gramos. It was awesome. There was so much fire. I come bearing orders direct from the Overlord. Kairos has decreed two things. First, the Overlord has demanded that one and only one Archon is fit to rule the Tiers. To that end, The Archons are to settle, through death or dominance, who is the one Archon fit to inherit the tears. And the second decree? Kairos has decreed that you are the newest Archon. Ooh. So the other Archons now have orders to control or destroy you, and the other way around. See, this is why I try to avoid getting Kairos' attention. And to be clear, this is a command from Kairos, but not an edict. Correct, there's no edict backing this order. Such encouragement hardly seems necessary when the task is its own reward. The Overlord has merely rescinded Kairos' peace. The Archons may kill and maim each other without breaking any laws. Kairos knows, rightly so, that enmities new and old will drive the Archons to mutual destruction. The Overlord needs only remove the pretense of peace and watch the ensuing violence. Would you have preferred another do-or-die edict? What of the court? Have you heard what Tunon and Bled and Mark think of this? As per usual, Tunon has the emotional range of Pumice, but Bled and Mark seemed almost giddy. I think the old Shadow is already putting names on his daggers. I was wondering if Bled and Mark would hear this order and promptly stab Tunon, but no, it would seem the Archon of Shadow is happy to serve Tunon. Makes sense, I've never known the old Shadow to crave that kind of power. You'll have to deal with them too, and I fear greatly for how that will turn out. I imagine Tunon is too loyal to bow to you, and Bled and Mark too proud to accept you as his better. There is no way that ends well for some of us. I think I'm more troubled by the sudden promotion to Archon. By definition, an Archon is someone who generates magic from themselves and doesn't channel the power of others. Since I assume you cast the edict without reading the prepared words of Kairos, otherwise why the fuss, Archon isn't fully incorrect for what you are, but I would agree your power is far beyond the mastery of shadows or ice or talking to trees or whatever other powers Archons have shown through the ages. Consider for a second the greater mystery is not why you've been considered an Archon, it's why you're being allowed a chance to live. All I know is the Overlord rarely improvises. So I'm to be the Archon of Edicts? Not exactly, just Archon for now. A bit unorthodox, but that's all the information I received. Rogalus insisted we call you Archon of the Tears, at least in any case where we might be overheard, since Archon of Edicts could sound like denigration of the Overlord. You realize this presents a problem for me, right? My hand just writes Fatebinder Wakefield out of habit. The effort it will take to retrain myself to write Archon, not sure I have the years left in me. But I did... I never asked for this. I didn't ask to be a Fatebinder, but I make it look easy. I don't think anyone asks to be an Archon. If anything, those who try to wear the title without Kairos' blessing rarely survive to be remembered. That is true. I don't think Kairos decides who has the power to be an Archon, but Kairos is certainly selective of who gets the title. My teacher, Occulted Jade, Archon of Tides, never bowed to Kairos. Her power was her own, and she claimed the title of Archon because, well, when she was younger, the Overlord was just a distant tale, so wearing the title didn't arouse conflict. I don't think the Overlord gives anyone power in a direct sense. If anything, I bet Kairos would rather all of us were mewling idiots devoid of magic. We'd be easier to control that way. But Kairos can give and take titles, and titles change how people see you, how they view your authority, or how big a threat they perceive you to be. And considering your promotion came along with an order for the Archons to all kill each other, it seems like this is part promotion, part test. If the other Archons kill you, Kairos needn't worry about what you're becoming, and if you're becoming something useful, Kairos seems happy to use you to kill the other Archons. So does this mean I get to finally meet Kairos? Not sure about meeting the Overlord, but I assume, yes, that'll happen in good time. And while you might be jesting, this culling order comes with the implied prize of rulership of the Tears, so if you want it, fight for it. Alpha has become newest Archon. Is so revered by humans, has earned new title of strength. What do you think Kairos would want us Archons to fight? Because Ash and Arat work together like water and oil, and so letting them each rule half the Tears is an exercise in bad planning? Because there's no land left to conquer after the Tears and Kairos needs fewer generals? Tunon's not here, so I don't mind pointing out that Kairos isn't exactly a loving ruler, and the Archons are disposable pawns, not beloved subjects. The land has been conquered, why not dispose of the conquerors? And I would further speculate that Kairos hates all of the Archons equally. So instead of nominating all but one for destruction, the Overlord is willing to let the strongest earn the right to exist. Alright. Thank you for delivering the message, that'll be all. First step is deciding you won't bow to one of the other Archons. I wish you the best of luck in your upcoming struggle. Know that when you come for Bled and Mark and Tunon, I and the other Fateminders won't interfere. Oh, okay. A question me and the other binders have been asking. Can you do this again? Nunaval believes in you. Another, who shall remain nameless, takes the more cynical stance that the Overlord has a hand so far up your ass she can puppet your mouth, and you couldn't cast a second edict if you tried. I think you have it in you, or at least I like the idea of proclaiming an edict of yours someday. Now that you mention it, curiosity demands we try having you proclaim an edict of mine. Are you serious? You'd let me do that? Lantry, take a dictation, please. You mean to say, Lantry, please record my second edict for all of time and memory, right? Gladly. Make a proclamation against the Stone Sea and the chorus's headquarters of cacophony. Proclaim. What should we give Narat, guys? Fire, storms, or stone? Should we just do fire again? Yeah, just fire again. Yeah, okay. With the edict complete, Calio approaches the edge of the spire and, with as much projection as her voice can muster, reads aloud your edict. And nothing happens. Calio slumps her shoulders with a disappointed whimper. Well, it works when Kairos writes it down. Perhaps there's some trick to it I haven't learned yet. But your power most certainly worked when you used your own voice, so we at least know your voice is an essential part of invoking your powers. Or, at least so far. I would imagine Kairos spoke a great number of edicts before learning how to write them down for others to proclaim. In truth, I am a bit relieved. While I relish the thought of being your harbinger of non-negotiable death, I'm not sure being the conduit for such arcane forces is something I should be taking so lightly. Then again, perhaps your past proclamations are part of what set the seed of this power in you. Anyway, it's an honor to be part of the experiment. I say we try this again some other day, learn more about what you can do with your power, and someday I'll be your Herald of Doom. It'll be a date. When you rule Tyranny, look me up. If you're successful, I know I'll be in need of a new Archon to serve. I know I'm mostly sober, but just so we're clear, you did just issue an edict, right? First you cast an edict, and this full-on war of Archons. This whole chapter of the Chronicle, it's reading like fiction. So Kairos has ordered all the Archons to fight it out until only the strongest remain. I think we can now safely say the Scarlet Chorus philosophy has been vindicated. A rumbling mutter stirs from under Barrick's helmet, devoid of any cogent words. Alpha birthed on words of power like humans prima called Kairos. Is better mystic than Broodmother to Kills in Shadow, and Stonestalker's 100 blood, than Beastwoman Archon slaughtered by Mark of Shadows. Kills in Shadow knew Alpha was most powerful human in whole of Tears lands. Knows was not wrong. Oh, one last thing. All this talk of you being the second coming of the Overlord, I almost forgot my duties. This is a court summons from Bled and Mark, Tunon's assassin. I suggest you read it carefully as part of your preparations. Your survival may depend on it. Good luck, Archon. Archon, we must speak before this goes further than it already has. I found something interesting in these Chronicle fragments. When you have a moment, perhaps you can indulge my curiosity. I know you've got a thing or two on your plate, but if you could make some time for me, a little bird has brought us some interesting news. I'd hate to have to go stabbing people without you. Okay, first things first, we gotta talk with the other Archon here. Is it a bad time?
I've made some progress on that ancient musical score. I'm almost completely sure it's the same music I hear in that crystal we found.
Meaning there's a definite relationship, but what else?
This music, I think it describes something fundamental. About magic, I mean. Or at least about the magic of the old walls.
Whoa. That sounds like a pretty incredible thing to know about.
I guess. I mean, sure, it's something nobody else knows yet. Except maybe Kairos. Maybe not even her. I'm certain that weaving this song into my own music will strengthen it. Or at least let more of my power slip through this stupid hat. Who knows? Maybe the old walls will hear my songs, and then I'll be able to awaken spires too, or sing edicts, or both.
Your voice will shake the tears.
The tears? Don't underestimate me. I'll shake this whole ugly world. But truly, thank you for all of this. I'm indebted to you. I'll add my power to your cause, I promise.
Ooh, new quest. Final Judgment.
Good day, Fatebinder. It's always nice to see you. What do you need? What do you need? Are we trading in... What do you want to know?
How...
about?
I
What
want
do
to
you need?
ask her... Oh, the helmet. I'd remove it if I could.
What do you need?
I wondered if there was a way to get her onto the subject of, like, hey, so, the Archon thing. Alright. Varric, what do you want?
I have come to regard knowledge as a kind of curse, and I better understand the Overlord's injunctions against too much of it. In knowing why my armor clings to me, I think I began feeling it grow into me. Has it buried itself deeper within me? Or do I imagine this? Kairos has ordered that the Archons determine a ruler of the Tiers from among themselves. This is the time to go to Archon Ash, submit to him, and beg clemency.
Not doing that. I'll consider our options as they become clearer.
I understand. Better to make a tactical decision with all available information at hand. Do not mistake hesitation for consideration, though. One reveals new paths forward. The other closes paths formerly available.
Oh, big ideas from the mobile armory. What, did the Iron Marshal tell you that?
Yes, she did. I shall follow your lead, Archon. For now.
Hey, Binder, let me get something off my chest. I burn inside. When I dance, it's like I'm trying to lit up the fire to quench it in blood. Instead, I just end up stoking the flames. Shit, doesn't that make sense? I think I follow. Always had such a strong connection to my Furies. That bond made me feel, I don't know, like part of something? Now it feels like they're in me. They rise up when I dance, each time a little more restless. When we were going after Kurokis and Orisa, I could almost hear them like they were whispering to me, tugging from somewhere deep. And even I can't deny all this sounds a lot like, you know, him. Say nothing. The thought alone I could be anything like the voices of Narat makes me want to flame myself. If you don't want to turn into him, don't be like him. What exactly are you suggesting? Maybe don't eat people. No promises. Beastmen have opened my eyes to a new and exciting diet. And one more thing before I call it a day, Fatebinder. Yeah? Glare silently. Anyway, after after we spoke to Essa, I slipped a scout some rings to keep an eye on the place and send word if anything out of the ordinary happened. Apparently there have been some strangers lurking about. I'd like to head back to River's Break and see if we can't grab one. Maybe dig a little knowledge out of them. But not, you know, in a directly out of the head kind of way. I'll check it out if we get the chance. I'm not saying it's the most important thing facing us, just, you know, if we find the time, I got an odd feeling about it is all. Right. Lantry?
Not to steal your glorious day in the sun, but I must say, now all my notes on you are suddenly worth 10 times their weight in iron. My journals will melt the linens off the ladies, I tell you. What's that you say? Buxom, nubile lasses with an old man who knows history. You need a definitive Tractatus on the trials and tribulations of the Archon of the Tiers. Ha! Well, you're in luck. I think one can safely conclude that you have the Overlord's attention, and that of the Tiers. Soon, all of Taratas. You realize, I trust, I hope, that nobody other than Kairos has ever cast an edict until you.
Are you sure history hasn't just edited or forgotten those who could rival the Overlord?
Well, I have a hard time believing that someone would cast an edict and not have it noticed.
Yeah, but maybe a rival casts an edict, Kairos kills the rival, takes credit for the events.
Well, As of now, I've seen with my own eyes that the Overlord is not unique in this regard. And I suppose you're all the evidence I need to throw suspicion on the record. Now, if you are right, that implies the Overlord has no qualms silencing and murdering those who pose a threat. In your case, at least my written record of you might survive. See? I'm being optimistic.
Also safe to assume Kairos will try to solve me in some fashion.
At the same time, if you really were a meaningful threat, you'd have already been the victim of an edict, or bled in Mark's daggers. So this has me rather curious. Just what does the Overlord wish to do with you?
When did Kairos first cast an edict?
Good question. In parts north, it's commonly held that Kairos' Edict of Dust was the first, but it was cast in the year 11. It was just the first edict to ripple across the whole of Tyranny. If you lived somewhere that used to have antelope, you probably think that's the first edict of the Overlord. But here, the answer is given to us by the Overlord's own sense of posterity. Year 0 of Kairos' calendar is said to correspond to the day Kairos went from warlord to wearer of many crowns. A victory won when the first Edict of Storms shocked both the Cloud Barons and the realm of Medrev to capitulate.
Antelope? Is that an animal?
Yes, or it was at least, until they were all wiped out by the Edict of Dust. Or that's as best we've pieced it together from the records. From what we've gathered from their skeletons, they were some sort of mute beast man that ran on 4 legs.
Antelope are not like beast women. Antelope have hooves for fleeing. Beast women have claws for killing. Antelope don't eat meat, are spooked easily, are large but helpless, lumber but lack reason, are prey. Silverback tribe hunted antelope extinct. Old ink mystic tells many strange, stupid tales. Thinks to know everything.
I suppose I'm more of an expert in living things, like birds, and can't quite confirm or deny what you're saying, but just forget I said anything.
I'm sure Tunon's hating himself for not executing me years ago.
The adjudicator will have to readjust his thinking, no doubt. His executioner has become far more dangerous than he could have foreseen. Can't wait to see the look on his mask.
We'll find out soon enough. We should get going. By the way, I found something of interest in the chronicle text we recovered from the bastard's wound. Tell me. Despite the madness of late, I've been finding time to read further. We've been cleaning up the record, so to speak, and scouring the texts for more creative changes. Anyway, Lexine left lots of notes in the margins, and they lead me to believe she stashed some tomes topside before she arrived at Bastard's Wound. Could go back and ask her. No, I worry she wouldn't recall, and I no longer trust what she tells me. Anyway, okay, message. In the day, as it were, she and I had a shorthand for communicating in code. Lexine has many notes to herself written in some corners, and, well, I can read her scribbles. She mentions another hiding spot, but to decipher the directions exactly, I'd need a copy of Histories of Sunder revised. If my old cottage is still intact, I have a copy there. You need a book so you can find a book. This is ridiculous. Lexine and I commissioned duplicate manuscripts of Histories of Sunder revised, and with our identical copies created a sort of code. She's written several triplets of numbers, and they relate to page, paragraph, and words in the books. It only works if we have the exact same book. Just an hour or so with my old tome, and I could decipher the directions. Let's go find it. Perfect! Ooh, a missive. I will only ask once. Ooh. Ominous. I'm gonna get a drink before I do more reading because my throat is starting to get dry. I have to say you never did play by the rules. But now you've ceased even pretending to serve the Overlord. I am not still muted, Whacker. Shut the fuck up. But now you've ceased even pretending to serve the Overlord, to which the Adjudicator is not amused. Unfortunately, the chaos you have wrought in casting an unsanctioned edict hinders our campaign in the tiers and weakens belief in the Overlord. You will at once come to our court, largely to offer penance for threatening Kairos' rule of the tiers, but do not fear. Tunon will preside without bias and order me to execute a sentence that is fair in the eyes of the law, and only if you are found guilty at the trial. But I can promise you this, if you want to live, it would be unwise to ignore his summons. If and when you first wish to speak with the other Archons to beg mercy, we will not prevent you, but we would also encourage you to refrain. At our behest, the voices of Narat and Graven Ash are also weighing the consequence of your bald-faced rebellion. Blood and Mark, Archon of Shadows, and Courtblade. Something unusual about the ink on this missive. Hold it over candlelight. Kid, have to say you never cease to amuse. Unfortunately, you have become too large of a threat. Tunon will order me to execute you at the trial. If you want to live, ignore his summons, and first speak with me at Ash Weald. Mark. Burn the missive. Right. Okay.
Greetings,
We have business.
Be seen.
Goodbye to you too.
Quick little... Let's save. Let's save. Why do I feel like both are ambushes? Right? Let's talk to Mark.
On it.
Oh, hi, Mark. It never gets old.
Fatebinder. No. Archon. Welcome back to Ashweald. You've been busy. You cast an edict and became an Archon of something different indeed. You're not some wild talent breathing fire, pissing mercury, or transforming into an animal. You're tapping into the Overlord's vein of magic. Not many can walk as we do in the darkness. Not many can keep their sanity in a state of eternal night. Because you've proven you can, I'll give you this. The written testimony of a sage in witness at the Edict of Nightfall's proclamation several centuries ago. Figure out how to cast it, and in that region, we'll be unstoppable. Now there isn't an Archon in the tiers who isn't considering how best to handle you.
And what about you? Are you also wondering how to handle me?
I handled you long before you became an Archon. We're on the same side. Mine.
Good, I feel completely reassured by your words.
We'll talk about it later. The point is, I'm not the Archon you should be worried about next.
So level with me. What would convince you to swear fealty to me over Tunon?
If you want me to forsake the old man, you'll need to do what he ought to have done ages ago. Slay the voices of Narat and Graven Ash. If you're as powerful as I fear you are, let's see you put that strength to good use and rid the world of two festering problems.
And what of Tunon?
If he won't acquiesce to you, that's your problem to solve. Perhaps with my help, when the time is right. A word of warning. Confront the Adjudicator at this time, and I'll have no choice but to fight you. Do not force my hand. I'd rather see you survive.
Hmm. I think not. I think we go to Tunon. I'm in charge now, Mark. I make the call. I ain't nobody's pawn. I'm not worried about Narat. I think I can turn Tunon against Graven Ash. So the only problem now is Mark. Yeah, I think I can get Tunon to take care of Ash for me.
Greetings, Archon.
So who do we take to testify with us? Lantry, obviously. Siren, the other Archon. Who else? How about Verse? Yeah. Good spread of people. Of nightmares. When not wearing armor, Siren is immune to engagement. Huh. Love it. Slumber seems like a fun spell. She's already got Aura of Fear. What else can we do? Wave of Despair. Taunting Jest? Maybe not. Guidance. Surge of Glory. Champion's Fortune. I know what, oh, I know. Let's give her haste. It's a solid one. Make it an AoE, that's good. And maybe let's give her something defensive as well. Right. Let's give Lantry some of the rock spells. Because that sounds like fun. I think we've given him all the healing cores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we're missing one. Yeah, it's healing aura we're missing. So let's make that one. All right, I think that'll do.
Right.
Are you trying to piss everyone off, or you do this just for fun? Not judging either way, I'm just curious. Casting an edict on Vendrian's well is a good way to shine a beacon on yourself or paint a target. Saved your skin, didn't I? Sure did, for now. Like I said, I'm not trying to prod you or suggest you made the wrong call. As someone who likes to stay discreet until she has the opening to strike a killing blow, I find your little public gesture of dominance, well, quaint. Charming, in a dumb way. Alright, let's rest up. We could just issue new edicts. We can just do it. Holy shit. Edict of Storms. Edict of Stone. Edict of Fire. And this is the one Mark talked about. The Edict of Nightfall. Cool. All right, to the Bastard City. To present our case. Your journey is interrupted by a messenger from the Mountain Spire. Ever since you issued your edict against the foes at Vendrian Well, the courier tells you, the Valley of Apex has been beset by an ever-increasing number of Bane. Creatures seem inimical to all life, and their predations have the people of Apex hiding in terror rather than tending to fields. If this keeps up, the land you've claimed will not be able to support your spire, regardless of how rapacious your tax collectors become. The messenger asks what orders you wish to return to the spire. Inquire further. He tells you there have been scattered Bane around through the valley. They're thickest around the Citadel and the mountains that ring the Old Dominion. Aren't those mountains actually old? Aren't there old walls under those mountains? Didn't we find that out? Alright, give orders. Request aid from allies. We don't really have any allies. I guess we'd be requesting aid from the Forgebound. Ignore the Bane, lure the Bane, hire mercenaries. Could just hire mercenaries. What is lure the Bane? What does that do? I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Hire mercenaries, lure the Bane away, or request aid from your allies? Request aid? Lure. Get them to go after an enemy? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, let's lure the Bane away. Maybe we can get them to go after, like, the disfavored. You theorize a focus act of magic by a mystic at another spire could draw the Bane away from the Mountain Spire. Won't be a simple thing to compete with an edict, but it's a plan that could diffuse the issue without significant further bloodshed. Of course, you doubt the people in the area around the spire will appreciate any Bane the magic attracts, but they should be better suited to deal with them than the farmers of Apex. The question remains, which spire to use as the lure? The Dawning Spire at Howling Rock, the Aurora Spire at Gulf Glow Old Walls, the Ocean Spire in the Blade Grave, the Sunset Spire at Lethian's Crossing, or, fuck that, request aid from your allies. It's too bad we took the Magebane from Lethian's Crossing, because otherwise the Sunset Spire would be the one to pick. God, dealing with the consequences of our actions. I know. Well, I don't actually think there's anybody at the Dawning Spire anymore. I think that was the Earthshakers. So let's do that one. You send your envoy to the Spire with your orders. Every able-bodied magician available should come together at the Spire's top performing group ritual. The working must last at least a night and a day in the massive state, and longer if possible. The Spire will magnify the magic, and hopefully that will cull the bane from the Valley farmlands. Gain Venturing Guard, favor. Gain Scarlet Chorus Wrath. Yes! We lured the bane to the Scarlet Chorus! Fuck you guys! Base Tunon's Judgment. Alright, time to go on trial. No more proceedings will be held for nobles today. This court is closed. It's an outrage. We demand to be heard. Rabble, rabble, rabble.
Fatebinder, thank you for answering my summons. This could very well be the defining hour of the conquest.
Bow to Tunon.
I first want to make it clear why we've assembled today. After the collapse of Vendrian's Well and the start of the Civil War, it became clear to me that there must have been some great fault on the part of the Archons. We come together to root out the source of our troubles, and determine which of the Archons has sowed more chaos during the war.
I did meet Mark before this. He said don't go. I ignored him. I think the answer to that question is obvious, Adjudicator. Giving voice to it here is but a formality to confirm what we already know. Tunon turns to aim what you can only assume is a stern look. He refocuses back on you with cool stoicism.
Much has happened since I dispatched you on that mission. With Kairos' mandate that only one Archon may rule the Tiers, the verdict is now more important than ever. We cannot allow this conquest to descend into total anarchy. Your lack of support for either of the Archons has been the topic of much conversation. At the fall of Vendrian's Well, you supported none of the ruling powers who appealed to you for help.
Explain yourself, student. Your actions were not those of a lawful agent, but an opportunist seeking advancement by any means necessary. Your judgment is a disgrace, and under the circumstances the Archons cannot be put to trial while their accuser stands thus diminished in the court's estimate. Supporting either Archon would only have compromised my objectivity in bringing accusations to trial, Your Honor. The Adjudicator regards you in thoughtful silence. Perhaps it's your imagination, but the shadows of the courtroom seem to have lengthened as if closing you into a trap.
The court finds your judgment satisfactory.
Huh.
Though I am not swayed by your claims, I recognize my teachings in them. You are competent enough to present your argument and bring an Archon to trial.
Okay, first hurdle cleared.
In your professional and objective opinion, which of the two Archons is guilty of sowing the most chaos in the Tiers?
If we say both, he's gonna say no. Which sowed the most? All right, guys. Trust me here. Graven Ash.
And so the charges are declared. I'm confident you've come with prepared arguments and research, as is expected of your station.
I won't stand there and patiently sit through baseless accusations.
In accordance to Kairos' legal custom, you will state the crimes against the Archon and offer up your evidence. The court will weigh your claims on their merits. I would encourage you to make as many claims as possible. Bringing charges against an Archon is no small matter. They are not accountable to Kairos' laws with the same rigidity as an average citizen, so it may be more difficult to justify their guilt.
I think we should say nothing unless asked a direct question. It's interesting that I find the staring contest. We should probably get going with the trial, yes? You no doubt recall the categories of infraction to which Archons may be held liable. They are sedition, incompetence, war crimes, and the hoarding of forbidden knowledge. It is not every day we are called upon to determine guilt on such a scale. Tread lightly.
Then we are ready to begin. State your claims, Fatebinder. You may proceed at your own pace.
The Archon is guilty of incompetence, Your Honor. Incompetence on this scale is no laughing matter. Lives and opportunities alike may be lost if a military commander performs beneath their expected rank. It's shocking to imagine Graven Ash failing at a task before him. Go on, Fatebinder. The court's attention is yours. During the Stalwart campaign, the disfavored marched on Sentinel Stand even though an edict was imminent. I'm familiar with the Legion's march. It was a determined mission to rescue a lost unit of soldiers, among them the Archon's daughter. The reports that reached my ears spoke of great bravery, and yet many lives were lost. Have you any other claims of incompetence? I know, Your Honor. I accuse the Archon of sedition most foul. Sedition, you say? Treachery, rebellion, insubordination. This is a serious claim indeed. Archon Graven Ash may have an inconsistent history, but his loyal ties to Kairos are well established. So I'm doing this based on what I remember, because we do have evidence that we've collected. We've been collecting it throughout this playthrough, and I'm going based on the bits that I remember, because if you accuse him of something and don't have evidence to back it up, Tunon doesn't like that. Ash's daughter colluded with the Unbroken, producing an heir. The court doesn't make a habit of letting the sins of the child reflect on the father, but I can see a case being made that puts the great general's leadership into question. If you held the voices of Narat to the same standard, he would be put on trial for each of the hundreds of deserters who fled his camp and returned to the countrymen. This is a sham, Your Honor. Amelia was a soldier under his keeping and shared his confidence more than most of the Legion. Her defection is all the more troubling. I'm going to allow it. Do you have further evidence supporting the claim of sedition? No, Your Honor. The Archon has perpetrated vile acts during this campaign. I accuse him of war crimes. I see. In a time of war, much is done for the sake of one's loyalties, but there are those who have justified monstrosities in the name of conquest. The court always desires its Archons to fall within Kairos' laws. I would be surprised if Graven Ash perpetuated misdeeds on this scale. Tell me of these war crimes, Fatebinder. Here's the meat and potatoes. The disfavored encroach on the Scarlet Chorus operation in the Stone Sea. If the Legion put their Civil War interests ahead of the conquest of the Tears, that shows great contempt for our work in the South. It's an insult to Kairos herself. Are we not at war here? The Chorus is a mob of interfering little spies. Do any other war crimes come to mind? I found evidence he plays RimWorld. I found evidence in Lethian's Crossing that disfavored spilled first blood in the Civil War. You guys remember that? I knew it! You inbred ironclads will pay for your schemes! Then the ire and conflict between the two armies has deeper roots than what transpired at Vendrian's Well. This is a damning accusation indeed. Do any other war crimes come to mind? During the Vellum Citadel assault, disfavored soldiers killed sages who were recruited to the chorus. You could have stopped right there. Killed sages. I fail to see the dilemma here. A brutal sentence, but were the sages not preparing to dispense forbidden knowledge? I understood the Archon of Song had enthralled them and loosened their tongues. As you say, the Siren was involved. The sages didn't willingly break Kairos' law. A fair point. Since they had surrendered to Kairos' forces, they should have been treated as prisoners or recruits rather than hostiles. Do any other war crimes come to mind? I found a missive in the Burning Library that implicates Ash in war crimes before the Civil War. The Archon's animosity toward each other is well documented, but we never knew for certain that either of them had acted on their bitterness. We will add this to the record. If written opinion is a matter of guilt, then I plan on bringing similar charges to every literate fool I can fit in this courtroom. No further crimes, Your Honor. The Archon is guilty of hoarding forbidden knowledge. A difficult truth to bring to light. The fact remains that Kairos is the keeper of wisdom across Taratus, and there are avenues of study denied us under her immutable law. If the Archon of War is educating himself of forbidden matters, it is worth deeper scrutiny. Make your case, Fatebinder. I found a dead civilian in the old walls of the Bladegrave. The disfavored sent him there looking for an artifact. Come now, we don't need to punish the Archon of War over the wrongdoing of a Southerner, and a traitorous one at that. This displeases me greatly. If the Legion thought they could trespass on the old walls by enlisting another to the task, then they were mistaken. The error in judgment could cost them the Archon's life. Can you voice further evidence that the Archon hoarded forbidden knowledge? I cannot, Your Honor. Then unless there is anything further... Your Honor, I have made my case to the best of my abilities. Your Honor.
Very well. I have weighed your evidence against the charges.
See, I happened to remember that we had collected a lot of evidence for Graven Ash, so I went for him.
The Court of Trunon the Adjudicator,
Boom!
Archon of Justice, and Counsel
Got it!
to Kairos the Overlord, finds Graven Ash guilty of sowing chaos, holding his
Fucking got
interests
it!
above those of the Overlord, and causing mayhem in a time of war. The sentence is death.
Booyah! Oh, please, Adjudicator. Ash is blameless. This upstart servant of yours has conjured evidence out of thin air. I tire of this quacking ironclad. Can someone put her in chains, or must we resort to a more immediate solution?
In accordance with Kairos' laws, the court headsman will deliver the verdict and its consequences to our former colleague. I summon Blood and Mark to appear.
Oh, hi, Mark. Blood and shadows billow and flare ominously, thicker than blood and deathly seeping and gnashing, eating at the throne room from the farthest edges in, closer and closer, creeping still, until finally for a single held breath even the air goes black and light has been swallowed. And then there is light again, and Bled and Mark, the Archon assassin, standing before you, shrouded in shades and daggers and death, and with white teeth flashing in his mouth as he laughs. Kid, Adjudicator, who will this blade be cutting today, the usual, or someone new? You are to execute the Archon of War, Graven Ash. Been a while since I snuffed an Archon. Could be a tall order. Might take me longer than last time. Unless maybe the kid wants to take a stab at it. I leave it to your expertise. You are the court's blade after all.
Go about your assignment, headsman. Trouble the court no longer with your displays or your bravado, and be quick to return with the guilty party. We will abide here until you return.
As you command, Adjudicator, so must I enact. He cranes his face to you, face a hard mask as he stabs you with one last withering stare. Poof! The Adjudicator turns his attention to the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus petitioners. Your Honor?
Your association with the traitor Graven Ash has doomed you in the court's eyes. Just as you share the Archon's protection, you will share in his guilt. What of her end, student? For your service, I offer you the freedom to determine the commander's fate.
Yeah, I know you can accuse both, Falconstein. I recall that accusing both is more difficult than accusing one. I could be mistaken about that. Death or servitude? What are we thinking? I think the Overlord is not one to waste waste anything. I believe it is said that Kairos abhors waste. She will forfeit her rank and serve the court, a grievous indignity.
As fair and compromising as ever. Nunaval, escort this one from the court. The time for discipline and reintegration will come after our business is concluded.
He does need, yeah, he does need a new Fatebinder. It's true. He does need a new Fatebinder. There's a seat open at the moment. Patience, student. Blood and Mark approaches anon. The Archon of Shadows is as swift as he is deadly. With a swift, jarringly shrill hiss of shadows, the court's infamous assassin cuts from a swath of darkness, coalescing faster than the eye can follow, into the form of a man, an Archon, dragging a thrashing, swearing, and snarling second Archon with him. Blood and Mark hauls a heavy and hunched, excessively dagger-struck Graven Ash forward onto his hands and knees. Spotting you, Mark grins coldly. his own teeth tinged with dark clots. You notice his signature red-painted mask gleams a darker, wetter shade in places, dribbling down the side of his face and neck and pooling from other deeper wounds to mix with the shadows on the floor. And he clutches a badly mangled arm to his chest. With a grunt and a twisted wince, he pries the tip of an iron spear from between his ribs. He flips the shard between his fingers, studying it admiringly. The North will remember this indignity, you ungrateful farce. My legion will come for you, and there will be no shadow dark enough for you to hide from their injustice. Stop your blustering. Despite the incessant and stupidly valiant attempts of your soldiers to draw arms against me, I didn't kill any of them, did I? Well, aside from the incidental few. Glares silently. You will know my agony soon enough, peon of injustice. Lest you think yourself wise with this pitiful droplet of command you wield, it is nothing to my centuries spent guiding the Northern Legion. You are too enraptured with your own power to recognize why Kairos turned us against each other. A black secretion heavier than smoke but softer than water roils from the Archon of Shadows, the assassin of unknown centuries and untold kills, and he racks forward, suddenly, grasping a silent, shuddering breath as his power billows from him, tangible and consuming, suffocating until it has crept from him enough to choke another. It, his executioner's embrace, is a burgeoning blot of nothingness, an expanse of endless shade that twists and shuffles, flares and snaps and swallows both substance and light, as it slowly enshrouds a clenched-fisted graven ash. The Archon of War hollers, a serrated shout of pain, and then even sound is consumed, and there is nothing but a darkness where the Archon had kneeled. When, with a clench of Mark's fist, the shadow shifts again into him, not even a trace of blood remains.
With that unpleasant business out of the way, we change course to another serious matter. One that puts into question your conduct as a member of Kairos' loyal followers.
Oh dear.
You have made quite a name for yourself, Fatebinder. Stories of your deeds have spread through the tiers, and all of them have reached this court. Some actions have consequences. We will see what your actions have wrought. The chaos you've sown everywhere is unacceptable. You cast yourself so far outside the established order, I cannot begin to catalog your misdeeds. For this, you have been deemed guilty and must be executed.
Am I not allowed a trial? Is that not the proper procedure?
The outcome is a foregone conclusion, Fatebinder. Your actions cannot be allowed to stand. But if you wish to make a mockery of this court, I will add it to your list of offenses.
I want to defend my actions.
Very well. If you insist we proceed, then we shall.
Now this is the harder trial.
You are on trial for transgressing on the Overlord's authority, breaking the laws of the Empire, bringing mayhem to an otherwise orderly conquest, and meddling in concerns that fell beyond your station. Our directive to bring Kairos' peace to the tiers has suffered, and you will answer for the part you played.
If you don't mind, Adjudicator, we are on familiar terms with the Fatebinder here. Should any inconsistencies require our input, we will add our voices as testimony.
The court has inquiries into your conduct. I first call your travel companions to speak on your behalf as witnesses to your character or accomplices to your crimes. Who will speak on behalf of the Fatebinder? Siren, Archon of Song. Give us your full report.
There's a reason I brought her with me.
Of course, Your Honor. Your respect for a fellow Archon is duly noted. I thank you for asking me to add my input in this very delicate matter. I will endeavor to speak honestly and stick to the heart of the matter. After a lifetime of being degraded and humiliated for the amusement of others, the Fatebinder took an injured young woman and treated her as an equal. His behavior is beyond reproach. There is no equal in my eyes.
Will anyone else speak on the Fatebinder's behalf? Scarlet Fury, you who sacrificed your old life for this one, step forward.
Me? As if the likes of me has any business speaking in a grand hall before the Archon. Why, I've murdered enough folk to stack their bodies up to the podium 10 times over. Your Honor. The Fatebinder and I get along like a couple of cats. We scratch here and there, but there's respect to be had. Sometimes I think we agree on too much, but can't fight everyone. I suppose I've had worse bosses, and I suppose I've had better friends. But this one's something special. I've killed for him, and I'll do it again.
Will anyone else speak on the Fatebinder's behalf? Let the aged chronicler step forward.
If it may please the court, I will speak true. I have had the honor and privilege of shadowing the Archon. A dream come true for someone so eager to witness history in the unfolding. I can say, with conviction, I am following greatness.
And if required, I could produce my travel log to back my claims. I have noted the good with the bad, and I think you'll find the Archon has been a force of order and balance. Exactly what you should want from a Fatebinder.
Will anyone else speak on the Fatebinder's behalf?
Evidently not. The time has come for the Fatebinder to offer his testimony. You were tasked with bringing order to the conquest of the Tiers, and yet you ignored your directive from the Archons. Do you hold the conquest itself in contempt, or did none of the ruling factions convince you of their worth? Supporting Archons who proved themselves lacking would have been a waste of progress. I recognized a better way to unify the Tiers. You make a better argument than I would have credited. If the Archons performed beneath their capacity, then I can understand why you sought a different route. Lethian's Crossing is under my protection, and yet you stole the Magebane Helm. Without the arcane protection that I commissioned from the Forgebound, the city is laid bare before the Bane like an offering. Why did you steal it? To be fair, a Fatebinder is tasked with using the tools at their disposal to resolve vital problems, and the Magebane is nothing if not a tool. Perhaps Sedenia would have been better served crafting a statue, but I will allow the defendant to explain. I couldn't allow the Bane to impede my efforts to restore order. The helm will be returned. You speak with reason rather than greed. I don't know why I trust this testimony, but I sense no falsehood. Very well. I dispatched you to the Vellum Citadel to deliver Kairos' Edict of Fire to the School of Ink and Quill, a punishment for their archival of forbidden lore and failure to recognize the rightful authority of the Overlord. Yet you hesitated longer than necessary in its issuance, warning the sages and allowing them opportunity to perform a ritual that preserved much of their heretical knowledge. But the Fatebinder's actions spared more than lives in books, Archon. There was little that could be done in the few hours before the edict came to pass, aside from fleeing with a handful of pages. Spared more lives than books, yeah. With a handful of pages and sandals on one's feet. The Overlord intended neither page nor flesh be spared, Sage. Enough. There shall be order as the Fatebinder answers this charge. Three is compelling. The Citadel itself or the Edict's target. Fair enough. Not the sages. That was what the Edict said. The Archon of Secrets claimed to have spies. He personally requested time for them to escape. I don't know. What do you guys think? 2 or 3? Not 1, clearly. 1 is clearly the wrong answer. Do you guys think number 2 or number 3? Is number 2 true? It is. It is true. Or is it? I actually don't remember if it's true or not. I know the Archon of Secrets had spies among the sages, and I know that we know he had spies among the sages. I don't remember if he specifically asked for it. I think he did. I think he did ask, didn't he? Yeah, I think he did. I think he did ask for the delay. Yeah, the Archon of Secrets claimed to have spies among the sages. He personally requested time for them to escape. As I had no strict deadline for delivering the edict, I honored his request. Yes, blame the bronze-headed bastard. The rat's such a believable scapegoat, you basically have to throw it to the wolves. The request of an Archon could certainly buy a few hours reprieve from an edict if the circumstances warranted. You showed appropriate judgment in the situation, though I harbor suspicions of the Archon's motives for the entreaty. You resolved Kairos' Edict of Storms with a legal contrivance. What's more, you spared Stalwart's ruling bloodline, circumventing the edict's very purpose. Did you think the Overlord's fury was a riddle for you to unravel? 3 seems dangerous. Although, you could interpret 3 in a couple of ways. You could interpret 3 as a challenge to Kairos' fallibility. Or, you could interpret 3 to say, no, don't you see, it's not a loophole, it's what Kairos intended. I think 1 is the safe. I don't trust the game to make that distinction, so I'm going to go with 1. Kairos didn't intend the edict to last forever. No, indeed, but there were conditions to be met and you cheated them. You subverted the Overlord's will to suit your design. That cannot be tolerated. You entered the old walls, a clear violation of Kairos' law. How do you answer for this perversion of justice? Do you think yourself above the law? Circumstances took me there, Your Honor, not greed. This may bear further investigation, but the time for that has passed. I am willing to believe that your actions in the tiers took you to these forbidden places and you saw no other option. This does not change the immutability of Kairos' law. At the city of Halfgate, you killed the garrisoned chorusmen who lawfully claimed it. A dozen of Kairos' servants bloodied the streets in your wake. They attacked me and hence violated Kairos' peace. I defended myself appropriately. I suspected as much. A pity you could not do so without eradicating Kairos' presence in the town. Ever since you arrived at the tiers, you have proven stubbornly tight-lipped. Your speech is often stilted as if by some great terror or apprehension. Can you even answer for this anomaly, or are you too simple to manage it? In my dispensation of I'm tempted to say nothing. In my dispensation of justice, I find it most useful to let others do the talking while I observe, and allow them to incriminate themselves. That is a better justification than I had suspected. Thank you for satisfying my curiosity.
I have one final question, Fatebinder. You were brought to this campaign to adjudicate the disagreements between the two armies. After your arrival, matters quickly escalated into a civil war. Did you knowingly join the conquest of the tiers to sow discord in your wake? Or were you merely a victim of circumstance?
I recognized the Archon's corruption from the start. It was only a matter of time before they turned on each other, and I was prepared for that eventuality.
If you anticipated a failure on this scale, you should have informed me, or else worked to avoid it rather than pit combatants against each other. I am finished with my line of questioning. Have you any closing remarks for the court?
Though I have ever strived to bring peace and order to the shattered region, I recognize that our work is an uphill battle, and well worth the struggle.
The way you frame it, the conquest sounds like a matter of true personal investment. Most curious. After weighing the charges, this court finds you...
Here we go. God damn it, Mark, fuck off.
Adjudicator, kid, allow this blade to cut to the point. I have an objection, or two. On the verdict you're planning to announce. Sure, it's the easiest way to get rid of the kid, but even I have to question the morality of this ploy, and that's saying something.
Remember,
You're going to execute the kid to satisfy Kairos' decree, knowing the kid, no, Archon's done no more wrong than any other.
see what I did there? Mark said don't go to the trial or I have no choice but to execute you. I called his bluff. Be careful, Archon of Shadows, for you are in danger of overstepping your station. I didn't really call his bluff, did I? But I did force his hand. Just not in the way that he was hoping that I would think I would.
I am always careful. You are the one in danger, about to commit an injustice in your own court. The kid didn't cause the war between the Archons, and he damn well didn't make it worse. You know he was caught in an amoral situation, and so he didn't play by the rules. But what are the rules for if not to satisfy Kairos? Which the kid has done. You claim to be an empty vessel of the law, but I know you, adjudicator. You're only planning to find the kid guilty because you're afraid of losing her favor.
Do not speak of our overlord in such a matter before others. Do not sully Kairos with your petty ambition and desires. Your testimony has been heard, Court Blade. Interrupt further and I'll find you in contempt. Ooh, that got under his skin. That got a reaction. After weighing the charges and with careful consideration of Bledenmark's testimony, the court concedes to judge you
innocent. Against all reason or expectation,
Yes!
I find you innocent. Your testimony was sufficient to justify your deeds, your self-appointed authority, and your undermining of Kairos' law. I can hardly believe it myself.
Adjudicator, are you unwell? Leave him. I want to see how this plays out.
Archon, your presentation in the court today has shaken many of my core beliefs. Things I held sacred under Kairos' law are now uncertain. I once thought that Kairos was the sole overlord. The notion of rising to her echelon of power and influence wasn't a concept that existed for me, for anyone. You have proven her wrong. What's more, you understand justice and law better than she ever did. Better than even. I am willing to accept you as my new sovereign, if you'll have me.
I accept. Together, we will rewrite the law and lay the groundwork for a new empire.
My gavel and my justice are yours. I will execute your laws as you draft them, show mercy as you see fit, and bring to ruin all who would reject you. Master, if you'll join me upstairs, I will pledge fealty to you in the lawful manner.
Speech 100, no. Law 100. We went into that as a foregone conclusion and successfully argued our way out of being executed. Argued before the Archon of Justice himself. Not the way Mark wanted us to do it either. I took control. Oh, he's handing you one of his blades.
Bet you weren't expecting it to pan out quite like this. But after everything that's happened, I'd say you've earned me as your blade.
Take the dagger. With a soft hiss, wispy tendrils unfurl from the curved blade. They bite at you, swiftly slicing a sharp mark as the dagger dissolves into the palm of your hand.
You've come a long way from when we first met. I'm almost eager to be at your service. Just don't get ahead of yourself. I like you, but that doesn't mean I always will.
Well. Ooh. Peacemaker. Oh, it's Ash's Maul. Before he became an Archon, Graven Ash wielded Peacemaker in service to his king. Each of the great northern warlords was gifted a weapon of extraordinary power, and all of them, save this one, are said to hang in Kairos' trophy gallery. In spite of its age, the iron is lovingly preserved and treated with regular applications of oil. The word absolution is carved down the length of the haft in runes that predate Kairos' dominion. It can be inferred that Ash added this personal touch after his fall to disfavor, though he would never achieve what he sought. The great general kept Peacemaker close at all times and shared its history with no one. Legends dating back centuries imply that its lightning-wreathed head changed its aspect every 100 years, cycling between fire, water, storm, and grey light in no discernible order. Even the name, Peacemaker, is a topic of scrutiny. The name only became a matter of record after Ash surrendered it to Kairos, implying that Ash made his peace when he laid the hammer at Kairos' feet.
On it.
My power has increased. Alright, let's accept Tunan's fealty.
Archon, change has come to the Tears, and in time it will reach the Empire itself. You are the agent of that change, and even I could not have predicted what impossible heights you would reach. The time has come to take up the gavel and usher in a new age of structure and law to the Tears. You will henceforth define justice for the rest of us. I will follow your lead and endeavor to follow your design.
Nothing.
As the ruling Archon of the Tears, I submit to your authority and thank you for bringing order out of chaos. Go and represent the strength of law. Be the example the Tears require, the force that keeps them together, and the hope for their future under one rule. Let your justice know no mercy but that which you impose. Civilization itself will bend according to your design. Never forget this.
I can't talk to him. The ornament atop the throne resembles Tunan's mask. It always seems to meet your gaze regardless of where you're standing. Well. Alright. That's 2 Archons down. 3 if you count Siren.
Call me if you need me, kid. Otherwise, don't bother me.
Alright, Lantry's cabin is right here. Let's go check it out. Oh, 4, yeah, we took out Ash too. So that's 4 Archons down, just 1 left. Just Narat left, but we got some business to attend to first. We gotta do this, and we gotta get Barrick out of his armor. Oh, what now? About time! Do you realize how difficult it is to get your gang to just sit in ambush and wait? Without a daily rut or tussle, this motley is a stubborn bunch. Alright, princess, you owe me a debt of blood. You come here in Scarlet whining about past debts, I owe you nothing. And now you're trespassing in the only corner of Tyranny I call my own. Kindly shuffle off lest things get ugly. Princess. You disguise yourself once, it becomes a recurring topic. The voices of Narat believes you've outlived your usefulness. I will take great joy in snapping your old bones. I will take great joy in raining fire down upon you.
Take that. Got it.
Harsh words have caused more harm than this useless weapon.
I'll tear your skeleton out by your ass.
Oh my god, the name of Jesus Christ, the name of the quest. Fuck's sake. Fuck's sake. These buckets contain some sort of brush or shrub.
Oh, curse my negligence. I was going to make ink from those leaves.
I sure you have a system for what goes where. The writing looks as if it's all used. The current parchment is only half written, as if the writer had to leave in a hurry before finishing it.
Prime bird watching from that desk. When you're older, you'll start liking boring things too.
Shelves contain countless numbers of scrolls organized in a way that can only be described as chaos. Thank Kairos, it's still here. I'll only be a moment. Is that right? Oh, did that wrong. Let me try again with less stupid. I forgot we did the code backward. Word, paragraph, page instead of page, paragraph, word. This is dreadfully embarrassing. Bear with me. Glares silently. Apologies, I'm, slow, but I'm cute. I'll get this figured out shortly, trust me. Find anything? Well, I've discovered this is a dreadfully slow way to communicate long sentences. Won't be much longer, I promise. Glares silently. Sure, you were wondering which would happen first, me finishing this task or dying of old age. I'm pleased to report it's the former. What did you find? You know, Lantern reminds me of Squick. You guys getting that? I should have tapped Squick in here to read Lantry's lines. Fuck, why didn't I think of that? That would have been fucking brilliant. Well, I have a set of instructions that will take me nowhere near any village or town I can think of, and that sounds like an ideal place to hide things. Maxime didn't know you'd been summoned to the wound, yet there was a message for you in her works? Something isn't right. Yes, well, she and I have been writing these texts for years. I think she started leaving me this message before the war, and I'm coming across it maybe later than intended. So, are we done here? Indeed we are. Thank you for your patience. The directions have us looking for a field of indigo. I couldn't tell you the name of the nearest town or village, but the message indicates enough landmarks that I can probably get us there. And how do we know it's not a trap? Consider someone was waiting for me here. I can't rule it out. But we're deceptively competent in battle, so the joke will be on them, right? Alright. Some kind of mysterious treasure.
On it.
Travel to the indigo fields. I wish I thought to have Squick read Lantry's lines earlier than, like, the final act of the game. Search the indigo fields. Aha! Berry bushes.
Kairos be praised, we found it!
Hold on, this is what you're after? Did you drag me all this way to make some new mind-altering ink?
Yes. Only need a moment. This won't be like last time, where a moment means half a day. If my understanding is correct, these berries only need a little alcohol to make them absorb into the skin and cause you to bleed.
Cause what? Sorry, speak up. A blue-stained hand reaches out and touches you by the wrist. A searing burn upon the surface of your skin quickly turns into spreading, blissful warmth. Though his mouth moves to form words, nothing reaches your ears. The world begins to tremble as your breath expands to fill the whole of your body with vigor. Buh!
Oh, this takes me back.
Calm, tranquil haze creeps in, unhinging your muscles from your mind. For 8 days, the Archon of Shadows would lurch from the dark, jabbing your posture back into right order at the first sign of slouch. As the berries dissolve your motor control, the muscle memories of those 8 miserable days rush in to fill the void. Moments of the past come briefly into view. At first, the figure of Tunon takes shape, followed by facets from your childhood, until memories of recent years flood your mind's eye. While the faces come and go, one figure emerges from the noise, unwilling to dissipate into the fog. Remain calm. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Then we have a deal. You'll receive further instructions by way of missive. We will use a plethora of names when writing to you, but you will know us by our seal.
The form of the voices of Nerat, Archon of Secrets, congeals from visions, flipping his scepter as he paces triumphantly. Of all the people in Tyranny, you dream of us. Oh, Archon, you flatter us so. It's almost a shame the Overlord insists we play this game of murder and dominance amongst us Archons. But such things were inevitable long before this war.
5 parts water, 2 parts red grape juice, 1 part ash. I'm still not convinced I can play the part. Considering how insular the school is, I don't see how any will trust me.
Whose vision is this?
I'm seeing my first apprentice. What are you seeing? Oh, wait. Now he's gone. Don't distract me like that. Wait, you already have someone there. How do I meet up with this person?
What did we tell you? Your first objective is to blend into the school. Besides, if our other sage is discovered and you're close, we lose you both. You have so much to learn about this craft.
You are right. We have much to learn. And all will be forgiven?
Finally, you understand. Learning is quite literally all we need of you. At least for the time being. Watch, listen, report. Not so hard, right? And to answer your question, yes, all will be forgiven.
The Archon passes his scepter from one hand to the next. Speaking of forgiveness, did you find it strange that Bledenmark takes such a shine to you? We do. For centuries he's been tasked to kill folks with budding power. Why then leave someone like you alive to prosper? You're being fattened for dinner. Mark my words. What will be forgiven? Laughing hysterically, the voices of Nerat says nothing and instead flips his scepter into the air in long arcing tosses. Yes, just what did we forgive old Lantry? Whatever it was, weighed against the decades of services rendered, we got the better end of the deal.
Yes, my answer is yes.
We're going to have a beautiful future. Serve well, and you just might be a part of it.
The Archon's head spins slowly. Each time its face passes you, the expression becomes more and more twisted and taut until at last its features are no longer a face. By now I ought to have learned to grab a bucket before doing things like this. The vision of Nerat fades into a swirl of flames. Your surroundings ripple, distorted by the heat of a blinding summer day that seems barely tepid to your touch. A new figure emerges from the fire. And it will be the 3rd time I turn you down. Even the youngest scribe learns that repeating a thing does not make it more true. Then what if I plan for a second archive? Pretend I'm wrong. Pretend Kairos isn't coming. A second vault would be rings well spent, considering the schools of Tide and Wild. Our defenses rival even that of Sentinel Stand Keep, yet you would waste our efforts building for the day they fail. My dear Lantry, stick to your chronicles. Your job is to record our decisions, not to decide what the record will be. You know I hate when you talk like that. Even the most adult scribe learns that covering your ears and doubting a fact doesn't make it go away. If we surrender before a war breaks out, we have a chance to. The enemy needn't muster a single battalion, you're ready to give up. Very dumbest thing we can do is let the Overlord's reputation undo us without a fight. So long as I am in charge, we will not cower. Then you lead us into ruin. Sage root... Sage... Sage redundant sage. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's the best one yet. Sage redundant sage was right. The last 10 years have made us fat, foolish, addicted to prosperity. You think me incautious? You think you're the only sage telling me what must be done? You impertinent little fuck. I know you have others swallowing the lies you ink them. Your absent-minded charade doesn't work on me. You poison their minds against me and have the gall to pretend you're some well-meaning mentor trying to be the kindly champion of the concerned student. Do you think I'm blind to the Overlord? Because I do not act with your reactionary zeal does not mean I fail to act at all. We are, of course, taking precautions. A failure to plan is a plan to fail, after all. Now you're just doing it to enrage me. I think I will be alive to record you as the very final provost of the School of Ink and Quill. May Kairos prove me wrong, but this proud school will perish on your tenure. And we are lucky that several dozen sages are in line to inherit the Scrivener's Eye before it falls to you. But you worry too much, my dear Lantry. The way you see the world, we will win either way. If Kairos invades, well then we owe you one big you were right, and won't that make you feel great? And if Kairos doesn't invade, well then you and everyone in the tiers wins. The Chronicle will note your hubris. Not if an objective chronicler is doing the writing. Your passion and convictions are a troublesome sign for one trusted to observe all things as they are. Perhaps you are not fit for the role. I apologize for even mentioning this matter. I will take my leave. Always a pleasure, Brother Lantry. That's Lexine. Are you seeing my memories? Because it sure felt like Fatebinder Callio was grabbing my crotch, and I would have remembered that. Jesus Christ. A second sage stands before you, this one a familiar face, Lexine. Though dressed in the tattered attire you saw her wearing, her features look decades younger, and her face alights with a joy and energy you did not see in the sleepless Lexine of your own memories. Oh, no, splay your pointer finger and lazy finger like so, then do a 2/3 twist. Okay, try to follow along. Your body's still lagging from the berry's debilitating effects. You can't seem to work any magic from the gesture, though you conclude, in theory, she would be casting a simple illumination spell. The last step of the hand gesture is unknown to you, and you are unable to mimic it with certainty. I know you are immune to flattery, but I assure you, you have some sort of natural accent, and I can't replicate it for the life of me. Yes, I'm sure you will say that to all the lasses your quill wants to dip, and I'm not some phenome. Hush! Aren't you the one who says Kairos has some shadowy hunter that kills would-be Archons? I'm as special as you insist. You best keep your lecture spout shut. Remain calm. Laugh all you want, but everything I'm hearing leads me to believe Kairos will be here soon. I'd wager that by the year 430 we'll be overrun with disfavored. But considering the Princess of Stalwart has all sorts of eyes and ears across Tyrannis, if you have it on good authority, it simply must be true. I'm trying to be serious here. When the war starts, field study will get curtailed, and we'll have a fight on our hands we can't survive. I have a few cottages throughout the tiers where we could hide. We could make our way into the mountains, use our magic to hide. You know I can't. I'm taking on 3 new scribes, and if we turn our backs on the school and you're wrong, where does that leave us? Hunted by all of the schools, that's where. But Kairos is inevitable. War is going to happen. Do you want to let it roll down the hill and crush us all, or do you want to do something about it? I want to be here when it happens to chronicle it. I would assume, that is what you want as well. What I want is irrelevant. We'll burn that bridge when we come to it. Maybe a long way away. Now I have some spare sepia, and we have several hours until dinner is served. Shall we?
After all that, I think I need a stiff drink to calm the noises. How are you feeling?
Glare silently.
Ah, so back to your usual self. Thank you for indulging me. Lexime and I shared such berries once, long ago. When I found the directions in her writings, I had a hunch it would take me to her source.
What was the debt or crime that the voices of Nerat forgave?
Oh, that? I swindled a man loyal to the voices. The Archon offered to let me live in exchange for my service. It never was clear when my service was done, per se, but I like being a sage, so I never really stopped.
I saw the voices, some old sage, and Lexine.
Fascinating. I too saw Lexime and that old sage, but you saw the voices of Nerat? Perhaps your mind is readying itself for the inevitable conflict between the two of you?
Were those my memories or yours?
Both, in varying capacities. If I understand the effects correctly, we were having parallel experiences with some shared recollection.
Is that what you're hoping to experience?
Well, I don't know what I was expecting, honestly. I think I just wanted to talk to the Lexime I remembered. The Lexime she has become is not the person I thought I loved. But what we want isn't always what actually happens. She'd have known that if she lived by the truth of the Chronicle.
As correcting the record afforded you some peace.
Considering these Chronicle fragments would have remained corrupted without me, yes, I feel I've done history a service.
And you're certain your understanding is more accurate?
Is this an argument for epistemological skepticism? Well, I can say with certainty that I have never willingly obfuscated the record. I never thought I'd be undoing the deceit of another chronicler, but I suppose if you live long enough, you see it all.
I doubt she'll be pleased by you undoing her work.
So be it. When she sullied the Chronicle, she lost the right to speak on behalf of history. And I would prefer not to cross paths with Lexime again. How you saw her in our visions is how I want to remember her.
All right, let's move on.
Thank you. I think I needed this last interaction with Lexime before I replace her pages in the Chronicle. Well then, enough chatter for now. Let's be on our way.
One last thing I want to do. Eat more berries. Time for round 2.
Oh, seems like fun. I swear to Kairos, if this is just some differently colored budding rose.
1 second. Let me just add the secret ingredient.
You have fun. I'll be literally anywhere else, actively not thinking about what's happening here.
Caring too much.
Well, a cold chill up your spine shocks you back to your senses in a sobering instant. Your companions stand around you, splattered in blue and purple berry juice, among other things. Hastily discarded clothing lay strewn about the scene. As the sobriety grips you, all clothing and gear is slowly, sheepishly gathered up.
Perhaps it's best that we never speak of this again.
Where do the clothes go? Don't ask questions you don't want to hear the answers to. Wait a minute, those aren't the right boots. Where did all the clothing go? Sage's robes, there we go.
Oops, I broke it. Oh, just kidding.
Where the hell are the cloth boots he was wearing? Sage's boots, there we go. Oops, no, don't wear that. It's not a good idea to wear. And then... yeah, no, it's leather. Well, I mean, it's light armor, I guess. Will do. Oh no, Sage's hood, duh. And then accessories. Alright, Lantry's re-equipped. Oh, actually, no. Scavenger. There we go. Let's re-equip Verse. Where are those Scarlet Fury boots? Oh, wait, no. Lantry had the Sage boots. Not the Scavenger boots. And then where are... alright, the... Scarlet Fury. Scarlet Fury boots. I think that's all she had. Or did she have some other kind of armor? No, I don't think she did. I think that's all she had. Okay, and then Wakefield. The super cool armor, obviously. The Censor's grip. The hood. And what boots did he have? It was some kind of light armor. Maybe it was just the heavy leather. It doesn't seem like I have any other special boots, so I think that was actually just it. Yeah, okay. Oh, can't forget. Also, the Silent Archive and the Steadfast Insignia. Let's actually give her that, because that's cooler. Okay. We are re-equipped.
On it.
Now let's go pick up Barrack and deal with his armor. Oh, weapons, right, thank you. Forgot about that. Right, weapons. Penumbra and Dauntless.
Yeah, I'll just hold on to this.
And of course the Staff of Zorg as a backup. And then Lantry gets... where is it? Oh, he's already got it. Excellent. And then I guess... Where does Quill go? There it is. Lantry's Quill.
Moving cautiously.
Alright, Barrack. Buddy. You try to get Barrack's attention, but he cannot find the strength to lift his head and register your presence. His helmet is downcast, the iron around his eyes and mouth corroded to ragged slits that lack their former humanity. You still with me, Barrack?
Packmate is sleeping. Maybe it's good time to pry from iron shell, to carve claws into skin, and lick willing blood trails.
A tremor passes through his armor. Separate from awareness, it strikes you as the jerking reflexes of a dead nerve. You can't even tell if Barrack is awake under his rusted shell, much less alive. Stand at attention! His shoulders slump even deeper than before. Barrack's knees lack the strength to support his heavy frame, and it seems to take all of his remaining willpower just to stay upright. I had to kill Graven Ash, he didn't give me any choice. You hear a choked sob under his helmet, but goes silent just as quickly. I have questions for you. His head moves to the left and right, a pantomime of refusal that might be nothing more than a loss of focus. Barrick, let's be off. He follows you in a half-hearted fashion. Wow. Yeah, you can't get him out first. You have to kill Ash first. Verse touches your arm and looks at Barrick with concern.
What's wrong with him?
His Archon's dead. I don't think he's handling it well.
Pull it together, big guy. I know you're strong enough to make it through this.
In spite of his infirmity, you can tell there is still strength left in Barrick's limbs. He may even mumble a choice word at times, but they will be nothing more than the echoes of a lost man. I had thought there was a way to get him out of it, but I guess not. Well, secluded forge. Hint of movement. Homes cracked by the edict of stone, bleached by the sun. A faint violet light. A group of humans gather around shards of azurelith, the pale purple crystals that appear throughout the stone sea. They wear the bare minimum of clothing necessary to preserve their modesty, and their skin bears lines of light that shimmer purple against the darkness within their home. The lines of light on their skin seem to trace primitive runes which bear a distant semblance to the markings beastmen sometimes carve into their skin. Speak to them. What are you doing? We commune with the man of the mountain. He grants us his boons and protects us from the cruelties of this place. He shall come to us in time to save us from the Overlord's tyrannical yoke. You know that superstitious idolatry is wildly illegal, right? We care not for the laws of this foreign invader. Someone from Cacophony will wander his way. If the Scarlet Course finds you, it won't go well. The man of the mountain shall protect us. Alright, fine. Very well. See if we can get Barrick to snap out of it. No. Fatebinder, didn't expect you to see you again. What, with everything? Did you think I was dead? Of course not. I mean, maybe a little. Things happen in war, right? You bested the Archon of War. That's an incredible feat. A legendary feat, provided the Overlord doesn't rewrite the telling of it. I suspect I know why you're here. Getting him out of that armor is no simple feat. It's a part of him now, fused into his muscle and skin. Anything that gets him out of it, well, it'll be akin to peeling him like a potato. The outside will come off, sure, but it's going to take some of the good stuff with it. I've given it some thought, and I have a possible solution. I don't think you're going to care for it, though. Or who knows, maybe it's your kind of thing. I'm listening. Thoughts, Barrick? Barrick remains silent. I wonder if the metal has already protruded into the brain. I'm listening. Without Ash's protection, Barrick stands very little chance of surviving the removal of his armor. That said, I know of a ritual to ease the process. It requires a component with as much sympathetically in common with the individual as the armor. In a word, blood. Ah, because of the iron in it. Precisely. Very good, Fatebinder. They use it for taking malformed armor off the dead without further mangling the corpse. Only the disfavored are worthy of iron armor, and we bury our own with their arms. And the Forgebound must be preparing for a time when one of those no longer remains true. Go on. Unfortunately, given the connection of the alloy with the Overlord's Edict of Storms, the blood will need to come from a ruler. Royal blood, enough to fill a tub, and what with Kairos' forces reaping the tears of their rulers, it's a component in short supply. I know of a baby from Stalwart. No. Tarkasari had noble blood, didn't she? If we can find her. A wise woman would have fled as far from Vendrian's well as her treacherous feet would carry her. Though were she wise, she'd never have taken up arms against the Overlord in the first place. If you can find her, and if she shares blood with the Royal House of Apex, that would work. Lotta if so. Would Archon blood serve? Perhaps in the case of Graven Asher Tunon. Given that Archon blood might have any number of unknown properties, it'd be very, very hesitant to use it. What of the statue of Queen Lysarius at Edgering? How many gallons of her blood does she cry in a day? Oh, decided to join us, Barrick. He stares blankly at you. I'm well familiar with the statue. The sages wanted to pry into it, but the Vendrian Guard wouldn't let them anywhere near, save for those who fought in their ranks. Is it the bloody tears of a dead queen, a portent of the blood to be spilled in defense of Apex? The improbably mineral-rich water? Given that the waters turned red when Kairos' forces invaded, there's likely a metaphysical, if tenuous, tie to the Overlord. Should work perfectly. If you can haul a barrel of the stuff out here, I should be able to release Barrick from his cage. Probably. Alright. All the way back to Edgering Ruins. Way back to the start of the game. There is a way if you have max favor with Barrick to kind of like break him out of his slump, but I guess if not, he's kind of subdued for the rest of the game. Maybe not. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what happens when he gets out of the armor. Oh, right. I was going to give him the General's weapon.
Slow and steady.
Oh my god. Bane.
I am a shield wall of myself. That one rattled me.
Take that. I think my wisdom is finally catching up to my age.
Pity you won't enjoy this as much as I do.
Will do.
Place is a lot different than when we left it. A lot more Bane.
Send me your champion.
Right.
Oh, I lost control of Wakefield. It's not great. Lantry is stuck. Also not great. Okay, there we go. I got control back. Come on.
Pay attention, kids. You might learn something.
Come on.
Hit bone.
Come on. Hurry up and die already.
Lantry, you clumsy shit. Focus!
Okay, Barrick, go back to shield mode. There we go. The torrent of thick red blood pours from the hollow eyes of Korean Lysarius' stone likeness. Leap the gap. Throw Barrick. No, command Barrick to toss you. Or have Barrick bridge the gap. No, just fucking
You
leave.
learn something every day.
Hey! Alright. We got ourselves some blood. Wonderful. Resurgence. Alright. Let's get the fuck out of here. And back to the forge. Time for a bloodbath. No, really. You don't know how right you are. Or maybe you do. Welcome back, Archon. Alright, Barrick, into the wet. He flops heavily in the vat without a word. Here goes everything. The vat begins to bubble and metal grinds against metal as Barrick releases a prolonged hiss. The smith puts a hand onto one of Barrick's sharp spines and slowly draws it from him as if pulling a blade from its sheath. You barely make out Barrick's pained grunt under the workshop's myriad sounds. The shard comes free with bloody strands of flesh dangling from it. This is one more battle, son of Barraconan. Stand strong, soldier. You barely perceive Barrick's nod, but his shoulders square visibly. Foam-crested red liquid sluices between the gaps in Barrick's armor, darkening as the grime and filth from his carapace mixes with the blood of queen and stone shield alike. He shudders, his left gauntlet clamped tight over the space left by one of Licentia's past excisions. Chanting, the smith places a chisel to the side of Barrick's helm and knocks it 3 times with a hammer. Each blow resounds more loudly than the last, and the third is accompanied with a sound like a blade slicing into armor. She places both hands on one of the metal spines crowning Barrick's head and begins to pull. He screams. Oh, jeez. The procedure finally reaches its conclusion, and Licentia slumps against the wall, hair tangled and sweat-soaked, hands and face red with gore. She releases a long, shuddering sigh as the energy in the room slowly dissipates. Clad in only his small clothes and a thick patina of blood and grime, Barrick stands before you. Heavy ropes of matted hair hang before his broken face, and long, twisting scars mar his limbs and torso. He reeks of sweat and feces, the whole stench coalescing with the heady smell of gore and iron into a noxious whole. Your stomach turns. You okay, Barrick? His eyes flicker up to you, brows knitting into a scowl, lips twisting to a grimace.
The dishonor of our actions has hollowed me, Archon. I may never be unsullied again.
Welcome back to the life of the free, you walking pile of... I'll have to dream up some new names for you. Okay. Anyway, put some pants on. I'm tired of looking at your... everything.
Now I can actually draft your official portrait for the Chronicle. You have no idea how much this omission has haunted me.
I hate to cut this short, but I'm dead on my feet, and there's one last thing we need to settle. I'm keeping the alloy we pulled off of him. In exchange, I took the liberty of forging the sample you brought before me into an axe I hope is worthy of you. Should we let her keep it, or should we insist on keeping it ourselves? Yeah, let her keep it. Thank you, Licentia. It was my honor, Archon. I wish you safe journeys if I thought it would do you any good, so try to stay alive out there. Well, there he is. That's his face. That's what he looks like. That's what he looks like under all that armor. Yeah. Right. So let's get him some proper armor. How about that? Yeah? Maybe? What about this one? What about this one? Or how about perhaps this? That one's not so great. That one's top quality armor. This one heals nearby allies when defeated. This one is just good armor. Oh, what about this one? Oh, they're the same. Well, that one is the best basic armor rating. This one has a cool effect, though. Oh, no. Yeah, I've been saving this heavy armor for Barrick. Nah, I like him better with the iron. Okay, helmet. We gotta give him the Mage Bane.
This will serve me well.
We gotta give him the Mage Bane. We'll hide it. We gotta give it to him. Yeah, you're right. It only triggers when he goes down, so not so great. What about boots now? Iron Sabaton. Iron Walker boots. Actually, I don't mind those. Those are okay. Actually, if we could upgrade that, that's not too bad. I like that one better. Yeah, there we go. Alright, this'll do, I think. I think that'll do. Although, no, you know, for the sake of consistency, armor him up like a disfavored soldier. Yeah. Just like we did with Verse. Verse is wearing her gear too.
My Lord Binder.
Hey, he
You
can
have
speak
something
again.
which requires my attention? What can I do for you?
Okay. Alright, well, quest achieved. Quest complete. Alright, let's do... Turquoise water cascades down a three-tiered fall, driving a musty smell of algae into the air where it mingles with lilac and sage. I'd almost forgotten what good smells like. Hey, Binder, you know what would be a real service to the Overlord? Getting Rust Bucket over there to take a fucking bath already. It's been literal years since his last. The cool, crisp scent contrasts sharply with the sour stench of filth emanating from your disfavored companion. You're not sure when Barrick last bathed, but you doubt it was recent. Barrick, in the water. You call a break for refreshment, taking Barrick aside. You inform him in a low but commanding tone to get in the water and see to his cleanliness. His reek has begun to hamper morale. Of course, Archon. As you will it. Barrick's hand clasps his chest and salutes. He trudges off in search of privacy. When he returns, it is without the odor that has become a constant companion to him as his twisted armor shell. Alright, so let's take a look at him now that he's cleaned up. And bathed. For the first time since the conquest, pretty much. That's what he looks like. All proper, you know, cleaned up and shaved. Handsome fella. Alright. He doesn't look like a fucking hobo anymore. Ooh. Oh, this is the old lady's farm. What the Kairos loving shit? What happened here? Fire by the looks of it. No small flame either. Let's poke around. The charred and smoldering corpse of an older woman has been dumped unceremoniously on the ground. Essa! Fuck! I could have given her a clean death, and instead she ends up here. Burned alive. It's mercy for you. We'll find who did this. Let's. I've got questions that need answers. Here's hoping these bastards don't want to talk. I really hope they don't want to talk. Deep gouges mar the door frame, slivers of blackened iron. Somebody pried the door open, someone with iron. The disfavored may have the collective brain capacity of a crate filled with stone, but they treat their weapons like each is the daughter of Kairos. Disgraceful. The Overlord and the Great General gifted us iron that we might spill the blood of our enemies, not lever open a stubborn door. Crates.
These were here before, weren't they? Can't say they seem very useful now.
What a mess. Whoever came here decided to throw down among themselves. Doesn't scream Scarlet Chorus and the last Queen of Apex. Corner of the ruined home is particularly charred. Look at this fate binder. I set a lot of fires in my time, and this is that very special pattern of burning that only happens with magic. See these marks? Sigil work. Too clean for blood chanters. Probably a sage. If you know of another organized society of magic users who like to control information, I'll happily look their way. Oh, good eye indeed. I believe this was done with the sigil of fire by way of the Sun Queen, as opposed to that of Thousand Embers' erratic brand of fire. You can tell by the tined pattern of the burned edges. The overall blast pattern suggests a thorough understanding of modern expressive techniques. Well, then... Now I'm boring us all. Apologies.
Nice rocks you found there, Fatebinder. Maybe we should keep searching. Unless you think they started the fire.
Fuck you. Nice find, Binder. That's Archon to you, verse.
We've got a burned farmstead and multiple fire wards set around it. That reeks of our missing fire mage Catorius. There's chorus and disfavored shit all over the place. Given how shoddily maintained the iron is, I'm guessing it's all chorus shit.
Could Catorius have been conscripted?
We can always ask him when we find him, assuming I let him live long enough to form an answer. The nearest stronghold is a sad little pile of palisades on the edge of the contested lands called Fort Squander. The disfavored used to hold those walls, so that could go a ways towards explaining their arms being scattered around here. Come on, we've got a sage to track.
You okay? You seem a little intense.
Yeah, I'm... The fire. It reminds me of Red Geyser.
Tell me about her.
She loved fire. Loved it more than any other fury. Loved it more than the blood chanters, maybe. They twist and pull it, summon it. She made a partner of it. Let it lead her dance. Once she lured these Azure Scouts into a clearing. They're tracking this lone woman, then all around them torches blaze. Geyser sets these pitch-headed arrows to the flames before putting them into one of the Scouts' eyes. An arrow per eye, hissing and popping. And then she charges into the Scouts with this burning crescent, this axe, the head as long as your arm and pitched. They swing at her, but it's all fire and blood to her. She shoulders them aside, and we take them apart. That's where she got her name. The spray from an opened neck.
Wish I had seen it.
To look at her back, at her chest. No one would fault you for mistaking her for a man of labor. 8 more than the rest of us combined. All she took to with everything in her. She was obsessed with proving herself to the voices. He'd given her this second life in the Howling Choir, and she was gonna make good and fucking sure that she earned it every day. She was one of the good ones, Binder. As good as anyone on this filthy peninsula. I'm glad I got to tell you about her. She lives on a bit in that. Now, let's be off.
Okay. Well, there's not... Oh, let's talk to Barrick at the Mountain Spire before we call it a night. Because there's not that much to do before we close out the final act. I think all that's left is this last quest and Cacophony. The former stone shield stares mutely at his heavy hands. Hair shorn and face shaven and clean, you can make out the tracery of scars that crisscross his skin.
Fate Archon?
See anything interesting there in your palms?
Nothing beyond being able to see them at all. The novelty has not yet worn thin. The great general is dead. The disfavored broken. Everything I have valued in my life lost. And in return, what has the world gained? A stone shield who can choose to lay down his armor? And you, with your half-truths and shadow dealings. Do I accept them as tools of the court? Merely a result of your training? Or do they mark an unredeemable lack of character?
Give it a try then. Redeem me.
Me? I suppose if you truly desire my guidance, I can try to teach you what I know of honor, as I was taught by General Ash, and my father before him.
I Can't promise to be the best student.
Nor I the wisest mentor. We suit one another in that. Simply strive to learn what I teach. Perhaps some of it will soak in.
There we go. Quest complete. Let's call that a night, folks. Little more to do for Act 3, and then I think that's it. But yeah, thanks for hanging out for another Tyranny Tuesday. Appreciate you guys hanging around for the madness and the fire and the praising the Zorg. It's pretty good. Let's we'll lay down maybe one more edict on the way out before we go. And that'll be it for Tyranny. And then I gotta think about what I'm doing next. I don't know. What could I do next? I could do a lot of things next. I could do... Somebody suggested I do Chaos Gate, the other Warhammer XCOM game. I was kind of thinking I might do Knights of the Old Republic 2, which is another game that Chris Avallone had a hand in, and is real lots of talky, lots of thinking about stuff. I don't know, I'll think about it. If you guys have any suggestions of games, by the way, happy to consider them. Other than that, yeah, thanks for hanging out for another Tyranny Tuesday, and I'll see you guys all next week. Have a good night.